T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Are you ready?
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? I am ready. I am a little bit jacked up, a little bit excited. It's draft week. We got all kinds of Miscreant Mayhem and Miscreant Madness in front of us tonight. We will get into the draft, of course. We have revealing Merica. We've got the usual fun and the usual trouble that we try to get ourselves into, but we always start this thing off with the thing is. Yes, sir, we are still the champs. We are still the champs, Ben Parrish. So, and hey, Jeremiah, the thing is, and this is what I want to talk about. The thing is, there's something a little bit funny about, I'm going to talk about fame. And I'm going somewhere with this, and I'll circle back to the Bucs. There's something funny about fame. There's different kinds of famous. Now, I would ask you, and put your definition in the chat area. Give me a quick definition of fame. What is fame? What does fame mean? Not what does it mean to you as far as, just give me a definition. Don't go copy it. Tell me what your definition is of fame. Because fame, I think, is funny. I used to think fame was being known by the more people you're known by, the more famous you are. That's what I thought the actual definition would have been. But I found out that there's something funny about that, and there's some qualifications to that, and there's something I want to sort of get into. Many years ago, I produced TV series, and I was on TV series, and I had the chance to get involved in that whole end of things. Well, we did a show that got picked up by Fox in India. In India. Now, this is a true story. Overnight, I gained over 10,000 Twitter followers. Now, I know 10,000 is not a ton when you're looking at people that have millions and millions. But gaining 10,000 overnight was a lot. All of a sudden, I'm getting messages like every time I look at my phone, every time I look, there's somebody from India contacting me. Now, nobody around here, nobody in my life on a day-to-day basis that I interacted with here in the U.S., I ran into maybe 2, 3, 4 people who recognized me from being on the Travel Channel or somewhere. Okay? But in India, all of a sudden, I had 10,000 followers overnight. Didn't even know it was coming. Had no idea it was coming. Didn't know they debuted it there. Didn't know any of that at that point. So fame is a funny thing because you could say, wow, look, he got all these people, or it was fame. Nobody knew me here. Yeah, I wasn't famous. You could say, well, I kind of had a bunch of people that knew me in India. You know my point. Day-to-day life, fleshing it out, walking, going out, living a life. I wasn't famous. I'm going somewhere with this. The Buccaneer football team. Well, what I'm trying to say is it didn't affect my everyday life, because when I woke up and did my daily routine, it was exactly what it was the day before, whether 10,000 followers jumped on my Twitter or not from India. Now, let's proceed with that. The Buccaneers won the Super Bowl. Their day-to-day life changes. Their fame, their recognition. We've been saying for how long? These guys don't get voted to the Pro Bowl. It changes. Everything changes about your everyday life, your approach, your mentality. Who's knocking on your door? Who's on your phone trying to take a piece of you, trying to get an interview with you, trying to, in some way, shape, or form, get something from you, connect with you. A year ago, nobody gave a rip. All of a sudden, they're famous. All of a sudden, Devin White, that nobody knew, famous. How is that going to impact and affect their on-field performance this year? I think it's a fair question, and I think it's something to consider. It's something to kind of wrap your mind around and start to ask yourself honestly. I mean, we as fans can easily sit on the outside and shuffle off things. Well, I'd stay focused. Would you? I mean, we all make mistakes in our own everyday life. Why do we think we would be immune to mistakes if we were a professional football player? So, okay. Now these guys have to go out on the field and stay as motivated when, they're I promise you this, guys. Everybody that I'm a single guy. Every time I've known a married person, male, female, doesn't matter. The further into marriage, the less they're trying to impress their partner. That changes, okay? There's a comfort level and a lot of really good things about it, but the less they try to impress their partner, the less they're focused on that. Same thing here. Hey, man, I am that good. I am a Super Bowl left tackle. I am a Super Bowl linebacker. That can go to your head. The one thing I will say, two things. Number one, I don't think Bruce Arians has it in him to let that happen. I think this team's going to come out firing all cylinders, and Bruce Arians is probably going to have them pissed. That's a guess. But I want to hear from you guys. Come on, Miscreants, where are you guys tonight? You guys are being awfully quiet. We've got all kinds of huge news to talk to you guys about, in case you are unaware. And it's fantastic news. It's exciting news. First thing I want to bring up here, I am flying to Tampa coming up on, what night am I flying in? Thursday. I'm flying in on Thursday, and we'll be going directly from the airport to Ferg's in St. Pete. And we're going to have a draft party. We're going to have one heck of a draft party. Guys, when I say it, we're going to have a draft party, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, there's great food. Yeah, there's great drink. Yeah, there's great people. All of that's true. But we're also going to have great draft information and a lot of fun. We're going to have giveaways. I'll tell you about that in a little while here. We've got all kinds of good stuff going on Thursday. So you don't want to miss that. Wherever you're watching the draft, I can promise you it will not be better than watching it right here on Bucs Report. So tune in, watch the draft here. You get the information pretty much at the same time. That's I promise you won't miss that second or two in your life. And that we're behind, and it will be a lot of fun. So let me do this. I'm going to, in the chat, put the StreamYard link. Matt is saying he didn't get it. I sent it to him twice. But that's okay. Who knows? Facebook was doing some weird things earlier, so There you go. Matt and Mike and Teresa and Johnny Dean and Steven. Let's get you guys in here first. The normal miscreants. By the way, the shirt today. The shirt's awesome. The shirt is awesome. It's the foul-mouthed producer, and being the foul-mouthed producer, and I love this shirt. And you should have seen the look on his face and the look on my other cat's face when I put this thing on today. I thought it was pretty hilarious. Let's bring in the main miscreant. The miscreant on top of the mountain, Mr. Miscreant himself, or he is the professor, so maybe it's Dr. Miscreant. Cool. How you doing, brother?
How's it going, bud?
Going great, going great. Let's bring in the other troublemaker,
Andrew.
The troublemaker from up north, Andrew Faubert, from North Sports Dynasty. And Andrew,
yes, sir.
You need to stick around because we have Revealing Merica coming up here in a little bit.
Yes.
So we'll have a little bit of fun with that. So
I love finding out about towns that have serial killers.
Yeah,
There's a lot of that in Canada, man.
How in the heck did you do? I've literally told nobody, not one person. I have not told one person about what city we're going to talk about today, and you just went there, and it has something to do with the show today.
Like I said, hey, there's not even a shot in the dark. There's just way too many towns, apparently.
Right?
How in the world did you just freaked me out, man?
I have no idea. That was definitely a shot in the dark.
That's bizarre. That is bizarre. So Mike DeRoche will be very happy that we're going to be doing Revealing Merica. So he's asking me on no, it doesn't matter what the show is, whether it's live from the cheap seats or not. How we doing it? How we doing it, man? How we doing it? Are we making fun of America? Come on, man. Are we making fun of America? And let's bring in Matt from Oklahoma City. How you doing, brother?
I'm here. I don't know what's going on with that first link you sent me went to yesterday's show.
Then I followed that up with another one that was corrected, but
well,
doesn't matter.
Third try.
We're here now.
Right.
We're all here now. Together.
We are here now. By the way, I got my nice, fancy schmancy
I need that mug.
Parrot Army mug.
Hey, Rick.
What? Wait, what'd you say?
Is that one of the big ones? I thought they had two
Yeah,
size mugs.
no, this is one of the big ones.
Yeah.
That's more my size.
Mm-hmm.
Does the producer get royalties?
The producer gets whatever he wants. That's the problem around here. Friggin' producer. I'm so sick of this producer. If I'd fire him if I could, but he's my boss.
Uh-oh.
He gets top dollar catnip.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And
yes.
Cup of Ray mug. That's a beautiful mug right there.
Is
I
that
just like
creams?
the
Oh my gosh.
simplicity of
It's
that.
Yeah, it's a creamsicle mug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It
need
doesn't get a lot better than that. Teresa.
Hey,
Teresa.
How you doing, Teresa?
Lisa.
Hi guys, how
hugging
are you?
people yet? Have
What's
you
that?
Just started getting in personal space all over the place. No.
What?
She said when she got her immunization completed.
Oh
he
yeah.
was gonna
Oh, you
hug
could get a
her.
hug? Yeah, well, you kind of need to be in the same state there, Sparky. You know?
Kind of got to be near me.
Yeah.
Here's a hug.
Yeah.
Well, I'm halfway there, so I get a little
That's the
shoulder rub.
loveliest thing I've ever heard.
Hugs for everybody.
Wow, I'll take it. I'll take a virtual hug. That's
Yeah,
my life
have you
these
had a
days.
shot yet?
What's that?
Have you had a shot yet?
No, they just dropped the age down where I can get it. Obviously, I'm the kind of person that's going to let everybody else go first. I will be getting it, but just want to make sure
Are
everybody
you
goes
under
first.
20? Is that the deal?
What's that?
Is as North Dynasty Sports? I keep skipping his name. My brain doesn't work. Sorry.
Andrew.
Andrew, there you go. Are you under 20?
Hell no.
I wish. They opened up the gates in America to 16 and above.
He's not in Canada. I mean, he's not in America.
He is in Canada.
I mean, he's not in America.
Yeah,
You know.
it's not American.
American.
I am in the most populated northern city in the world.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And
Wow, that's cool. That's a cool little tidbit to throw out there.
How much is that massive population?
12.
800,000 people.
800,000? That's quite a bit.
Yeah, I believe
That is
I believe
pretty big.
Edmonton's last consensus was 800, 850 or something like that.
There's
Oh, wow.
820 in Winnipeg.
Let's bring Eric Marino in here. Hey, brother.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, man. Welcome.
What's going on?
A whole lot of nada. So, out of all the things, I don't know if you guys heard my little speech at the beginning about fame and how it's a funny thing. It's funny because what is fame and how does it impact you and how does it affect you? And I love the fact that everybody online thinks they would be perfect. It cracks me up because they're all like, "Oh, I would remain loyal to the team even if they couldn't afford to pay me," or or the fame wouldn't impact me. In the meantime, that hot girl who now knows who you are is paying all kinds of attention to you. Fame, look, you're human. You're human. You can hope. You can pray, you can whatever, and say, please don't let me screw this up. Please, don't let fame impact me and affect me. But you're human. And let me tell you something. What they're experiencing right now is brand new. They have no experience at it. And how good do you normally do when you're going through something brand new? You usually trip once or twice. Right. So they're gonna fumble around a little bit when it comes to their newfound recognition.
David Bowie said that.
So are you talking like a hangover?
Hold on. Go ahead. What were you saying, Matt?
David Bowie says that fame makes a man think things over.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mike, what you just said, do I think they'll have a hangover? I hope they don't have a hangover. I think BA will kick their butt enough to keep them from having a hangover. But I'm a fan, so of course I'm going to think that.
The hangover term actually usually applies to teams that win the Super Bowl and then half their team goes to other places.
Eric, are we interrupting your dinner?
No, you're fine.
He's on the wrong show. What'd you have for dinner?
What are you having for dinner? Yeah, what are you having for dinner? 24 hours too late. But
Ham and cheese and a side of French fries.
okay, there you go. So,
Wow.
My thought process is this. It's only I'm trying to be real about the Bucs, and I'm trying to say, look, they're going to have new challenges this year, and that's something that's just they're humans. They're going to face new challenges. Let me tell you something. The Tom Brady's been through this gauntlet, but Devin White, Levante David, these guys have not been through what they're going through right now, and. Imagine what it used to be like going to the grocery store as a Buccaneer, and imagine what it's like now. Imagine, the different experience when you go to dinner, when you go out and about, and everybody now wants their picture with you, and before they were just like, yeah, I think that's one of the Bucs over there, and now everybody knows who you are.
But now they have a taste of it now.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that's the reaction. That's a good point, Mike. That could be their reaction. I hope that is their reaction. That they've got a taste for it and they want to keep it.
Well, what I was kind of hoping.
Well, Teresa, go ahead.
So what I was kind of thinking is Brady and Gronk there. They've got sort of people that have been there, so they
and
can show them
JPP,
how
yeah.
JPP. So that's my hope is that they're going to be mentors to these guys.
I second that. I think that the team has
I
enough
heard that.
veterans on the roster that have had success that they got somebody they can lean on.
Right.
Things get a little crazy.
Right. Now that I'm hoping that those guys take the lead along with BA, and I hope that I'm sure the first time somebody says something
Stupid.
something cocky, Brady's going to knock them down. Yeah, Brady's going to knock them down and say, "You realize I did not win the Super Bowl more years than I won the Super Bowl, right? You understand? Most of the time I don't win the Super Bowl, right?" And Brady doesn't. Most of the time, Brady has not won the Super Bowl. It feels like otherwise.
Here and it's like he's walking on diamonds.
Right. Everybody's going to think that. Right. Everybody's going to think, well, we got this because everything did go right. So, yeah, I think it's an interesting challenge that they face. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they face that. And I think that there are going to be some stumbles along the way. I think there are going to probably be some players who do something, kind of get, for lack of a better way to put it, in their head a little bit and do something stupid, go out and party, do something,
Throw lawn chairs.
throw lawn chairs, do something, you know? Well, that could happen. No, come on, Eric. Don't deny it that AB's not going to. You're going to tell me you're confident AB's not going to do anything stupid?
Maybe, but not. I mean, not where it will be in the media. You know, it will be like a big deal about it.
Well, how are you confident about that?
AB sat beside Jake Paul at the fight last night, and Tom
I saw
Brady,
that.
Mike Evans, and Blaine Gabbert were all in the same building. Like that. Not trying to make a big deal out of something small, but like that little tiny thing blew up on certain social media platforms. Like, do you really want that coming back? Like,
right, and that's the thing. Are you really a part of this team? Are you part of this squad? Are you part of whatever? Then it also may be that Brady and Brown talked off to the side because I think they're sharing a mansion, and maybe said, yeah, man, I'm going to go hang with this guy. But the point of the matter is there's something that's very, very important, and people need to realize this, is optics. You need to understand the optics of a situation. You can be right all day long, but in an image industry, do you look right matters more than are you right? And I'm going to say that again because there's a lot of truth there, guys. You can be right all day long. You can be right all day long, but whether or not you look right is what matters in an image-based industry.
I think AB's a target for, how do you say, controversy?
Well,
Yep.
yeah. He made himself a target for controversy.
Right.
I gotta say this though, he didn't stay with Brady all year last year. He's not sharing a house with him no more. That's
Oh, really?
Tried that out. It was funny and stuff, but he's got his
So
own
where's he
place.
staying with? Where's he staying?
He's got his own place.
he's got his own place now.
Oh, I didn't know that. See, I didn't know that. I hadn't heard that.
He had his own place.
Okay.
He's had it for a while, man.
Okay. I didn't know that. Last I heard,
Station is watching us tonight.
Who?
Mr. Bucks Nation, how you doing, buddy?
There he is.
Yeah, that's holy crap, that's a lot of people on the show. Go Bucks. Yes, Mr. Bucks Nation, welcome to Miscreant Madness. welcome to the Miscreants. We all get a little bit out of control, and basically, to make a long story short, along comes the producer to tell me,
You're stupid.
so
Just couldn't put them dogs on there last night.
it kind of happens. I mean, sure.
Are we expecting with the settlement with AB to him get at least a couple games suspension?
That's no. Actually, no. I don't think so. And
I was reading about it online.
Yeah, well, then, obviously, but no, I mean, is it possible? Yes, but I think there's also a point of, I think the league is, how do I say this? The players have had a little more say so when it comes to discipline, and I think AB being a model citizen all last year will count for something. They're already talking about letting Josh Gordon back.
Oh, God.
Okay, and he's on his he's on his 12th last strike.
That's incredible.
Right. So I mean, he's literally going 9 innings. I mean, it's
all right.
Yeah, but I mean, they're talking about he's going to be free to come back to the NFL supposedly, or will be reinstated into the NFL. So the thing is, now let me say this though. And this is an interesting topic because I think it's a fair topic to ask, and I don't have a straight up answer. Okay, when it comes to somebody struggling with drug addiction, all right, we back in the 70s and 80s, you were looked at like you were a bad person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
even the 90s, and let's call it enlightenment. There's been some enlightenment on the subject where you start to know good people. Everybody knows good people who've dealt with this stuff, who've dealt with these struggles or whatever. And you start to understand, or you start to think, wow, maybe they do want to stop. Maybe they're genuinely wanting to stop, but there's a wiring defect. And what you're wanting to do is punish them for a wiring defect. And I'm not sure that ending someone's career or impacting someone's livelihood because they're struggling with something like that, I don't know that that's the right answer. I'm not saying it's not, because you also can't be complicit, and you need to do what you can to encourage. So I don't know the answer to this, but look, I mean, go ahead.
The NFL itself has talked about allowing discontinuing the urine tests for marijuana. But
Yeah, I don't even see why that's still a thing. How is that still a thing?
in because of each state's different rules.
Yeah, I still don't know that they're look, the NBA doesn't even test for it, so they're not held accountable based on that. You don't have to drug test employees. You know, I mean, it's I think what's happened. Look, I don't think you're going to see any players suspended for if they find that in their system. I just don't.
Unless their name's Josh Gordon.
I can't see where they were going to get any advantage out of it anyhow. Everybody I know that gets down gets sleepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's more healing and things like that in a way that they can relax and that kind of stuff. I think that's more what they're, and there's all kinds of
There's many different types of therapeutic,
right,
all that kind of stuff for when it comes to cannabis. That is
right.
for sure.
What's the oil? CBD. I was going to say PCP. I was going to say PCP.
That's a whole different
that PCP oil that they've got. No, that CBD oil.
Oil. There's distillate oil. THC oil. There's so many types of oil.
Don't ask how he knows. But
it's legal here. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. But that to me, guys, that to me is I think when's the last time you heard of someone specifically for that drug? And if you say Josh Gordon, hold on, they didn't announce what drugs were involved there.
No,
okay, so we don't know.
Adderall.
I'd bet you that it's a little bit more than marijuana.
I would bet it is too.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's got to be something.
Well, his first suspension, it was THC. They did come out and say THC. Yep. So you assume, and I know what the word assume does for people.
HGH.
Yeah, it could be any little acronym. And don't get me started on acronyms. If you get me started on acronyms, don't get me started on acronyms.
Don't start, please.
Yes, if we get into that conversation, one's going off. So, but the thing is, I don't think the NFL really tests for that. I think maybe they say they do, but I think it's wink, wink. We don't really, you're going to tell me not one player last year was using marijuana?
I used to work in a cabinet shop that had a drug test when you applied, and then you could work there for 20 years. But if you got stung by a bee and had to go to the doctor on their nickel, they tested you on workman's comp claims, and they rejected them.
Yeah, the company that I work for now. Yeah, the company that I work for now drug tests you when you before you get a job there. And if they drug tested you after that point, this is the last two companies that I've worked for. If they drug tested you after that point, it would be a really lonely place. I mean, there would. I'm serious, man. There would not be many people working there, and that's
really?
That's.
Question, Johnny.
Go ahead. Now,
will you think AB will be resigned before the draft or after the draft? Or if we draft a receiver in the first 3 rounds, he's probably gone because we got Scotty and Tyler, Mike and Chris.
Mm-hmm. I actually thought AB would be signed by now. I said on one of the shows that I thought by Monday we'd probably hear something about it, but it's not looking that way. I don't understand what's going on here.
I don't think AB is getting re-signed until after the draft. I don't see the reason to do that.
Nobody.
It is a deep wide receiving draft, so he might not get re-signed. We might go to the draft and.
Well, I know that's why I said I don't know. Just wait. Because I mean, if there is behind the scenes, the players might be saying, "Look, man, we've told him, just come on, man. The rest of us are on board. You're not here." At some point, the players may go to the front office and go, "Screw him."
Right.
We don't need him.
I mean, even if we traded back, I mean,
I'm all about it. Please, dear God,
I know a lot
please.
of us are. If we traded back, I mean. There's going to be wide receivers in the mid to late second part, like maybe possibly like a Rondell Moore or a Terrence Marshall Jr. out of LSU.
Yep.
Kadarius Toney, that Cade Johnson kid is starting to look really good and enticing in the second round. Like we could definitely grab one of those guys as well. And as much as I've hated on Antonio Brown, I do think we should re-sign him, but it needs to be at a club-friendly deal. He has done really good, and it should be more incentive-based if he's asking to get like a lot of money. But it shouldn't be more than a $5 million base and then incentives. It should be between the 2 to 3 with the chance to get to the 5.5 with incentives.
And that's why he's not signed. It's because he wants that 5.6, and we're talking about 2 to 4.
Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, and listen, they'll figure it all out in the way that's best for the Bucs. Let's bring in, Let's bring in Stephen Glasgow because he's black and he's super straight, and we need to get that mixed into here. How you doing, brother?
Steven.
He's not listening.
Steven?
Hey, how you doing? What's going on?
There we go. Hey. Welcome.
How's everybody? What's everybody doing?
We are all good. We are all good.
Mike.
What?
Rick, I can't help it. Read Bucs Report's last comment down here, man. That's hilarious.
Cannabis keeps you from choking the living crap out of staff members, so I've heard. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically that is basically the foul mouth producer talking there. And I think that's directed at me, or it should be.
Can I ask Andrew a question, please?
What's that?
Can I ask Andrew a question, please?
Yes, please.
Of course.
Andrew, who's gonna draft that running back from Canada?
So you want to know about that? You want to talk to him? You don't care what we think or our answers.
What's his name, Mike?
That would be Chuba Hubbard. Chuba, however you want to say it, but Hubbard.
Okay, then from this point, I'm just going to start saying, and to all you Americans, and just start talking since Mike's going. Since Mike just said, excuse me, but all you Americans be quiet. Hey, Canadian, who's the guy who's the running back see how you did that? I saw that.
Hey, Mike. I know about Chuba Hubbard too, man.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You're not from Canada.
He's close enough.
Hey, you guys want to do this? You want to get into this now? You guys want to go there?
Here we go.
Yep.
Revealing Merica. Revealing Merica.
Perfect.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Now, when you want to go to America, and I don't just mean America, I mean you want to go into the deep, dark recesses of America. Would you want to go way deep into America?
I didn't get my answer yet. But
I don't know how else to word this other than to maybe say if you want to get into one of the orifices of America. Where do you go?
Detroit.
Booger Hole, West Virginia. You go to Booger Hole, West Virginia. That's right. Whispering Pines, also known as Booger Hole.
Whispering Pines is a cheap television.
Can you imagine? Somebody went to Booger Hole High. Can you imagine? But it's actually a beautiful place. Booger Hole is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. But, folks, there is a darker side.
Oh.
This is an actual headline: bloodletting in dark, deep Booger Hole.
Yes.
In dark, deep Booger Hole. That's right. That is a real headline. And why, Andrew? Because Booger Hole is an unincorporated community in northern Clay County, West Virginia, United States. It's located in the West Fork Valley near the town of Ivydale. In 1917, the community was subjected to about a dozen murders during a short period of time.
They murdered
Andrew, how in the heck did you go? Did you just randomly shout out when I said we're doing a show tonight and you go, oh, I love stories about towns with a lot of murders?
Yeah.
I didn't tell you we were going into Booger Hole.
Andrew is a part-time hacker as well.
Who's going to draft that running back, Andrew?
We're going deep in Booger Hole and you knew it. Were you already there? Were you already? Did you read the book? Because there's a book and a movie.
What?
There is a book and a movie called Booger Hole.
Wow. Wow.
Wait, for real?
What?
That's funny.
Yeah, that's the truth. This is the truth. And guys, look, this is the story. It was about this. Clay County citizens formed a mob to clean out lawless Booger Hole.
Good gracious.
To clean out lawless Booger Hole. They got a giant Kleenex. And then what happened? After that mob, the alleged undesirables of Booger Hole leave.
Say what you want, it's still not dildo.
Well, no, we can't touch that. I'm sorry.
Can't touch that dildo.
But you can be straight out of Booger Hole. Okay, that's a T-shirt that they sell.
Oh my God.
That's a T-shirt that they sell. Straight out of Booger Hole.
That's incredible.
That is correct. Straight out of Booger Hole. Woohoo! And guys, if you don't, right near Booger Hole, if you want to find out where you can go or what you can do when you're in Booger Hole, when you're deep in Booger Hole, you can come upon Pee Pee Creek.
Yes! Really?
This is not a joke. This is not a joke. You can come to Pee Pee Creek in Booger Hole. I'm going to say this again. You literally can go to Pee Pee Creek in Booger Hole. Now tell me that this town was not named by like 6-year-olds.
Just make sure when you go pee in the creek, you're pee-peeing upstream from people.
People, Pee Creek in Booger Hole. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know that everybody. I think somebody's been drinking some tainted water because, guys, this is not fake. This is not fake. This is real. I'm going to close it out with this, guys, because it gets no better than this. I want you all to imagine for a moment. Close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes for just a second.
Way too. Okay.
Close your eyes, and I want you to imagine it's homecoming night, right? Or there's a pageant, and you're going to come up with the Queen of Booger Hole. And I want you to imagine the Queen of Booger Hole. Okay? Are you all there? Are you going to have your fantasies about the Queen of Booger Hole? Because here she is.
Dear God.
Oh, man.
No.
It was like Frankenstein.
Guys,
Boogers in those holes.
I did not Photoshop this.
No.
I did not Photoshop it. I did not do a darn thing. That is the 2002 Queen of Booger Hole. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Merica. Merica.
It's really that thing called the Take a Lead Creek.
No, it's just called Pee Pee Creek, buddy. We go straight to it. We're not going to dance around that subject. We go straight to Pee Pee Creek. It's probably just short of like piss in the bush or something. I don't know. Yes, exactly. So yeah, while we don't have Buffalo head smashed in Buffalo jump, we don't have it. We don't have dildo, but you don't have a booger hole.
No, we know of.
You don't have a booger hole. 909 feet. Area code 304.
It's got an area code, so they have.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I pondered the thought of finding some fine booger hole establishment and calling during the show. And it was on my mind, and I considered doing it. And I thought, no, leave the booger hole alone on your show. I did not want to. I'm gonna leave the booger hole alone when I'm on camera.
You're gonna talk to that booger.
They'll never make you a mayor of that city if you leave.
I will never be the mayor of Booger Hole.
Yeah.
But I want you all to know. But I want you all to know my respect for the people of Pee Pee Creek and Booger Hole, especially the 2002 Queen of Booger Hole.
She has nice eyebrows.
Apparently, there was some transients that came out of that state.
Wow. Mike actually just got turned on.
Oh, Mike, come on, man.
Hey, Mike,
Dude.
you like these eyebrows?
Mike,
Hey, Steven.
Mike, what are you doing, man?
Aim higher.
I want to see a current picture of her.
Yeah.
The Queen of Booger Hole.
No, you don't.
So
You
it's
gotta go to a different part of the
Trust
internet.
me, I
to
do.
get that.
And you know what? You know what?
Throw something in here, Rick?
Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
Okay, I was just following you along in Google because I was going to look up some joints in Booger Hollow, but
Booger Hole.
Booger Hole. Okay, well, apparently
Booger Holler. What?
People migrated out of there all the way to Arkansas, and they renamed the town Booger Hollow in Pope County, Arkansas, with a population of 7, counting 1 coon dog.
So those are the people that moved out of
Merica. There's more than okay. So now we know this, folks. It's official. Merica has 2 booger holes.
Because they couldn't get along.
Arkansas.
I got ahead. Sorry. Finger twitch. Go ahead, Johnny. What were you saying?
I want to know if those people that moved out of Booger Hole to Arkansas were the ones that they chased out of Booger Hole for murdering all of them.
Oh, that's a great question.
There was a war for the Booger Hole.
That's right. There may have been one. There may have been one. There may have been one Booger Hole that was just a. One of them is certainly more. One of them is certainly more congested than the other. So
Booger Hole was
one Booger Hole is more congested than the other one. That's
one Booger Hole.
Poor Eric.
To rule
Poor
them
Eric.
all.
You guys are just taking him right down that Booger Hole.
Yes, we are. Right up in there. Right up in there.
The word holler, is that a hole?
So there's Booger Hollow and Booger Hole. That's
Yes.
right. And wow.
Yeah, what is hollow?
Hollow is
Sleepy.
Is a ravine.
Is a hollow a hole?
I don't know. Hollow.
Hollow
I
is
don't.
a ravine. It's like a small valley.
Oh, okay.
Steven.
And a holler is a ravine in the south.
Yeah, holler. Holler
Yeah.
is how you say it.
what's up?
'Cause they don't know how to pronounce
All right,
it.
let's get this over with the producer because, frankly, I just don't like him.
Hello, Buccaneers fans. Welcome once again. I'm sorry, as usual, for the droning and drivel of this skin creature. He calls himself a host, but the only thing that really needs a host is a virus. I'm just saying. So let's talk about the Buccaneers because that's a far more interesting topic. We have the draft. The Buccaneers can do anything they want, but personally, I hope they claw the motherfucking eyes out of their opponents by trading up and getting someone spectacular. Can you imagine? You're not just reloading, you're beating the living shit out of the other team. This could be a very fun season. Go for broke, boys. Go for broke. Let's kick some ass. Go Bucs. And somebody shut this idiot up once and for all. He calls me Fuzzy Britches. Look at that ugly creature. There's nothing I can do.
No respect, Rick.
Freaking cat.
You ever notice that cat's got a
Whoa!
spot on his nose?
You and the
It's
cat
like-
have the same take on the Bucs, though.
No, I don't think we should trade up.
He didn't.
No, I want to trade back. The cat thinks we ought to trade up. What?
No, we're going to stay at 32 and pick Greg Russo, Miami Edge.
Oh, good God, I hope not.
I don't think he would be there, but I mean,
If he's
not
there.
bad.
Don't
If he's
don't
there.
do that.
You gotta
Yeah,
draft
I can't believe you think I had the same take as this stupid producer.
Beating the other teams.
What?
Hold on. Hey, Johnny.
Well, of course, we
Johnny,
all want to beat the other teams. Every freaking
How
Buccaneer
about
fan wants to
Travis
beat the
Etienne
other teams.
or Najee
Hold
Harris
on.
if they're
So,
there?
Johnny, let's just say out of Oway from Penn State, who might be there, Aziz Ojulari, who might be there, and the guy that Eric brought up, Gregory Rousseau, even say Jalen Phillips. Which one of those prospects would you rather have the Buccaneers actually develop then?
None. I'd rather just trade back and gather up picks, man.
Thank you.
Any one of those picks would be third string on the team.
Are you hearing this? Are you listening to this? This is wisdom. Do you understand that? Fuzzy frickin' britches. God bless. Sorry.
The only person in this draft that I've looked at any tape on that I think would be worth trading up for in any caliber, and we're not talking about
Pitts.
trading up into the top 20 or
Pitts.
anything like that, is he'd have to be in like 20 range to 32.
No, 10.
Would be Mika Parsons. That's the only
Mika
person.
Parsons has got so much garbage following him around. You have got to hear the chatter on the street here about him, man.
The chatter on the street.
He's always into something, man. He's always into
What's the chatter on the street? Because we know that's got to be accurate.
He's not wrong though. Johnny is not wrong.
He's always in the clubs. He's always getting in trouble, man.
Oh, okay.
Every friggin' week he's in the newspaper, man.
Oh, well,
Yeah, but not in Booger Hole.
What?
Not in Booger Hole.
Tell me. Tell him, Mike. Tell him, Johnny.
Hold on. Here's the other side of that, though, Johnny. The only reason if we take going into the conversation that me and you had about the Davion Nixon gent there before, if you can take and the whole outside of the locker room stuff out of it because he's going to be coming into that culture and just let the prospect develop into what it is. We could have technically 2 Shaq Barretts if he does end up being what he could.
What are you gonna do with Levante, man?
You keep Levante. This is more like a JPP, like when JPP's done at the end 15. Of this year. I agree. He would be top 15, but say you're looking at
this draft, he's top 15. I agree with that, but that's this draft, and you're talking about a draft with no prospects except for Kyle Pitts who could start on this team.
Pitts is going top 5. Maybe
I agree.
Yeah, I know that, but that's what I'm telling you. If I'm moving up, the only person on the in this draft to move up for is Kyle Pitts.
And we don't have
else
enough
is going to start on the team, dude.
Right.
They would have to give up every pick in the next 2 years.
He was not meaning. I think you were taking him too literally. I think his point was that the only person that we maybe have a hope to move up to get. I don't think he was saying that's the only person. I get what his point was when he said the only person to move up. He was meaning realistically.
Yeah.
And Pitts is not realistic, so I don't think he was counting him in that.
No, well, that's my point. Is there's nobody realistically to move up for.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I understand. Understand.
If we were to take another corner like Eric said there, it would literally just have to be like if J.C. Horn fell at 32, I want to call somebody and ask why before I even take that pick.
Samuel.
What? Asante Samuel?
At that
Samuel
point, if
would
we're
be
looking
a
at
development player, he could fall back into the second round.
Yeah, if we're looking at those type of like 4th or 5th players off of the board, then yeah, I want to start trading back because then if you tell me that Asante Samuel and Quincy Roche and Davion Nixon and Marvin Wilson and some of those guys are sitting in the mid to the end of the second rounds and we can trade back and take 2 of those guys, I'll take that any day of the week before trading or having a 5th-year option guy in the.
That's what the Patriots did. They always traded down after they won the Super
And that's what I hope that they do. That is what I hope the Buccaneers do. I want to see. Look, next year is going to be a stronger draft. Next year is when the Bucs are going to need. That's when they're gonna have the needs to fill some of these spots.
Trade all your picks for next year.
Yeah, so just keep trading back and amassing picks next year, and I'm a huge fan because
2023 is going to be the solid year for draft picks.
Yeah, well, you're not going to be able to load up. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get people. It's here's the thing: you're not just going to be able to get whoever you want whenever you want. When you've got the holes that are there, when you have holes like booger holes, but when you have holes. What are you gonna do when you have holes? You've got to. When you have a hole, when there's a hole, you have to fill it. Okay.
That's exactly why I would be happy.
That was my
100%
model.
happy with trading all the way out of this draft and loading up with futures.
Yeah.
And I've even said it before too. Like when you look at the Lamar Jackson trade that happened. Hi everybody. When you look at the Lamar Jackson trade that happened, like that kind of set the team. I've just had the team that was there. I mean, they got like a future haul. The thing is with this draft right here is you do have the 5 big quarterbacks that are more than likely going to go in the top 10. We all kind of can basically see that happening.
Lawrence, Fields, Jones,
Lawrence, Wilson, Fields, Jones, and Lance. Yeah. And then what's going to happen is what Johnny knows this too. Matt knows this. Mike knows this. Teresa knows this. Everybody kind of knows this. Teams get scared. And what they get scared of is seeing that 5th-year option on a quarterback that they might like fall away. So then when you start looking at the Kyle Trask and the Jamie Newmans and some of these other might take a year or two to develop, right? Those type of quarterbacks
Davis
that's
Mills,
where
Stanford.
that's where the value starts to become real for us as the Buccaneer fans, because we can all of a sudden ask a team, any team, even a good team, we can ask that team, we want your 2023 first round pick.
Yep.
That could be the asking point. And everyone right now, and everyone until draft day could be laughing at the Bucs, but when it comes down to that last 10 minutes, and then you don't even get to make that phone call anymore, that's when it starts making you sweat. And that's when someone's going to overpay, come up to the Buccaneers. And I've even said this on my show. I think it's going to be a team like the Bears, or if it's going to be, maybe this
Miami.
Miami?
Yeah.
Ooh, Miami would be interesting. Washington, if they don't get one of the big five, could come up to get that 50-year option on a Kyle Trask or something like that.
Yep.
And that's where the Buccaneers will say, we want that 2023 first. And if you look at even Philadelphia, Philadelphia's got first-round picks that they can just extend now too.
Guys, it's not a question of somebody might drop to the Bucs. It's not a question of somebody might drop. Every year, always, at least one person drops. Okay? There's going to be somebody, that number 32 position, somebody's going to be looking at it and saying, wait a minute, we can maybe get a top 15 player at this position right now. We're going to be better in a few years, and in 2023, we're going to be drafting, we think, later in the draft. Yeah, let's do that trade.
Oh, yeah.
So I can see that happening, guys, and I'd be all about that. I'm just amass future draft picks. If the Buccaneers walked out of this draft and drafted nobody, it just got a ton of draft picks, I'd be like, successful, wonderful, grade A.
I would celebrate.
So would I. So would I.
The real question then becomes, Buccaneer fans, do you want, say, have 2 second-round picks for that, move back one this year, maybe one next year, or do you want a 2023 first? Are you okay with just giving up the 32nd pick this year to have 2 first-rounders in a future when we probably will need it, or do you want to start getting some of these prospects into a championship caliber team now in case there's injuries?
No, because I don't think the prospects are as good right now. I want the future picks.
I agree.
Yeah, you reload later with better picks and you have more options. And look, if the last 3 first-round picks by Jason Light are Vita Vea, followed by Devin White, followed by Tristan Wirfs. Okay, if that's your last 3 picks, what in the heck is this guy going to do if he ended up with a draft with 3 number 1 picks?
Quarterback.
Well, maybe not. I don't know. Let me tell you something. I believe that the future of the quarterback position is changing. I believe you're no longer going to be thinking in terms of franchise quarterback. I think quarterbacks are going to be switching teams a lot more. I don't think you're going to be seeing quote-unquote franchise quarterbacks. You're getting a guy that's as good as you can for 4 or 5 years, that's cheap enough, and then you can afford to pay the rest of your team. And then that guy moves on to somewhere else and tries to get more money. And I think that's the way that's going to go down.
So we're going to get Jared Goff eventually. That's what you're saying.
Into that drafting that franchise guy.
What?
Mahomes' contract. I think that was the death signature for the franchise contract guy right there.
Well, I think it was before that, but yeah, I mean, I think that's why you ended up. The things really started changing, I think, when like Winston got cut and nobody wanted him, and Cam was out there and nobody wanted him, and all of these veteran quarterbacks, they're no longer valued like they used to be. These guys, 5 years in, if you had said you're going to take a quarterback who threw for 30 whatever touchdowns, 37 was it? 35? What did he throw in that? Yeah, something like that. 35? I don't know, whatever it was. The fact that he threw for that many touchdowns, that many yards, and teams weren't just lining up. His agent made probably what was the prudent call to say, "Oh yeah, man, somebody's going to pay you a boatload of money." But the market has changed, and people are looking at him going, I don't know, man. There's a lot of risk. And it didn't used to be that way with quarterbacks. You were willing to throw that risk out there.
Right.
So things are different now. Things are different.
Like, look at guys, we got Russell Wilsons and Dak Prescott's coming out of the 3rd and 4th rounds. Like,
right.
Someone like a Jamie Newman is probably going to fall to the 3rd round because you didn't get much tape on him. And if he's gone to a place,
wasn't that the mailman on Seinfeld?
Newman. Hey, I want to circle back to something you guys were talking about before I came on regarding AB. Here's my fear, because as I understand it, Kansas City has interest in AB, and really? I'm of this mindset. I know I pretend to champion AB, but here's the issue: the guy was a model citizen. He's a Hall of Fame talent. Somehow, Jason Light found a way to pay everybody else. The guy is asking for 5. He's worth 5. I'm sorry, because my fear is he goes to KC, we end up in a rematch in the Super Bowl, and they beat us with the guy we beat them with last year.
No.
Well, we beat them with the defense. So hold on. We beat them with our defense. If AB was not on that team.
No, but here's why we beat them with the defense, Rick. Mahomes refused to throw short intermediate passes. He was always going for the long ball, which takes time, which gave our defense time to get after him. If you have an intermediate threat, it's going to make it much harder to do that.
I understand, but what you're saying, you literally just said that we beat Kansas City with Antonio Brown, or because of Antonio Brown, and we did not. What, Johnny?
Steven, that's not actually true, man. He tried to throw. He didn't refuse to throw intermediate passes. He was getting pushed out of the pocket by Vita every single day.
He was behind by 21 points. We all know what this is like. We watched it happen for 4 years here. Listen, man.
I agree.
Yeah,
but I'm saying, do you think they're going to make that same mistake if there's a rematch?
I don't think that. Listen, man, your system is your system. Mm-hmm. You know, there are teams that you match up well against, and they're screwed against the Bucs. They're going to have to start making changes, but it's going to take years.
They're already getting better offensive linemen this year than they had last season.
No, they got one offensive lineman that was better. They actually lost multiple.
Two maybe. The left tackle they got out of Baltimore may actually be pretty good.
Orlando Brown, right.
Orlando Brown is a beast. He is.
Right.
And then the guard they got from the Patriots is the real deal too.
Okay.
My basic point was we shouldn't be so cocky to assume we don't need anyone.
Now that's
especially a Hall of Fame,
right? Joe Thuney.
I don't agree with that.
To the point, the one thing that I do kind of agree with Steven on is I wouldn't want, like, the reason why we want Antonio Brown back is because then we do have like a 3-headed monster. It's 3 Hall of Fame caliber wide receivers, and that's one of those guys that knows how to play with Tom Brady very, very well, which now we can say everyone knows how to play with Tom Brady very, very well. But when Evans is covered and Godwin is covered, it's really lovely having that Hall of Fame talent there. I get that. We definitely don't want that to go to Kansas City. Mm-hmm. But we don't want to strap ourselves in the cap, and we don't want to harm, say, the development of any of the younger guys by drafting another wide receiver, right? And then having to have the handcuff with the Chris Godwin situation later on. So I do see your point, though. I wouldn't want him to go to Kansas City either. And then all of a sudden, if we actually do have an appropriate shootout that we thought we were going to have, we don't want the only open person to be Antonio Brown and then Patrick Mahomes be thrown into him. I would rather Robinson or any of those other guys. I 100% agree. But I still think there's some way that he's going to be on this team.
I'm going to say now I'm not a bit worried because it's a simple fact that the team knows the value of Brown in the team system. Okay, so whether he's on another team or not, if he's on another team, then he's an enemy. I don't care. And does anybody remember the rematch between Brady and the Rams?
Let me ask you guys. You know what? Let me ask you guys something. Let's pretend. How many touchdowns during a game is Antonio Brown worth? Okay, let me go around the horn. Okay, all right. First of all, let me start with you, Professor. How many touchdowns is he worth per game?
1.5.
Okay, Andrew.
Yeah, 1 to 1.5.
Okay. Mike.
2-ish.
Okay. Matt.
I go 1.5. That sounds right.
Okay. Eric. And
Is
Eric's gone.
Frozen is
Eric is gone again.
Why do you always freeze in such weird looking faces?
It happens to everybody. Happens to everybody.
there's a
Stephen
joke there.
or
Don't
Teresa. Teresa.
1.5 sounds about right.
Okay, Stephen.
I say worth about 2 in a regular game. About 2.
Okay. Okay, about 2. So you're talking 12 points? That fair?
Yeah.
Okay, if you're talking 12 points per game, that means the Buccaneers only win what? 31-21?
Well, that's considering that they hold them to 9. You got to be honest with us, though, Rick. The Chiefs didn't have their full complement of offensive line. They were on their second string guys across the board.
They did the first time the Buccaneers played them, and after the first quarter, the same thing happened. Keep in mind, it was 7 quarters in a row that they didn't score a touchdown.
Well, I hadn't really looked at it that way. I'm just saying that the Super Bowl lineup was not the same as it was 2 weeks
Yet the
before.
result was the same
and see
for the
now,
7 quarters in a row.
But
See,
we
now-
wouldn't get in necessarily as quickly and as often as we did if they'd had their full strength of offense.
We did in the first game against them after the first quarter.
See, and now this is kind of funny, Matt, because we had this conversation earlier about what would happen if the Bucs traded back, and like now you've kind of given me this thought where if you really do look at it, what is going to make that Kansas City Chiefs line, screw all the trades and the signings, they're getting the Canadian back, so that's what's going to make it the best, obviously.
There you go.
But with that being said, that offensive line is going to be good. So they made sure the one weakness that they had in the Super Bowl is going to be fixed. And I think if the Buccaneers are going to look at that, they may look at it in the draft. And just kind of going back to what me and Johnny were saying earlier, if there is, one of those Miami edge rushers and, maybe a defensive tackle that we like, and we do trade back and get a couple of second rounds, at that point, I do kind of want, and then go sign a veteran if you can, and it's cheap. I do want to have edge rush by committee at this point. I want edge rush after edge rush and after edge rush, because I think the team that we're getting in the Super Bowl, because I got money that says we're going to the Super Bowl. There's no questions. We win. We're the NFC this year. The one thing I want is I want edge rush by committee. I want as much pressure on that offensive line now, because to your point, yes, it is going to get better. But our defensive line and our defensive system and Todd Bowles, they know that too. Todd Bowles isn't the head coach. He just got to deal with one thing. And that's what he does really, really damn well.
Teresa said she's out too.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I'm as I watch this whole thing unfold, the draft, the one thing that I'm sure about is that nobody knows freaking anything this year.
I know something. I know that the offensive positions are a lot stronger than the defensive positions this year. I know that the wide receiving core is very deep. As
deep as Booger Hole.
I'm responding to Andrew on that defensive the edge thing.
Yep.
The edge, all the edge rushers and all the talent from edge rusher and the D line period is going to be taken up in the first round. They're going to be gobbling that up, dude, because they know which positions are deep in the draft and which ones aren't. All the shallow positions are going to be taken up early on in the draft because they're going to be fighting to get that talent.
Yep.
Later on in the draft, the wide receivers and the running backs will be coming through, and you can take your pick of whoever you want, and you've got something to work with.
See, I believe while everybody is talking about there's going to be all this movement, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy draft unlike others. It's going to go crazier than ever. I'm not so sure. I think when it comes time to pull the trigger, GMs are going to go, we're not confident about this guy in this year's draft because we don't have the film on him. We're not quite as sure. I don't know if we should make this trade.
Well, I agree with that. They got a lot of problems with the COVID and no film for this year. Some of these guys are being drafted based on 2 years ago's game tape.
Right.
There's already more trades in this draft than there was last year, though. So,
well, were there none last year? Now there's one.
Well, no, there's more than one trade in this draft. How many positions have been changed here?
5.
Well, that was all one
Five?
trade, though. That was 3 teams that did a baseball move.
Oh yeah, that was one trade. Yeah, 3 of them were one trade.
Yeah.
That was Miami and Philly and somebody, wasn't it?
San
Francisco.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
then
they pulled one of those NBA first, second, third, and a cousin deals, which you don't normally see in the NFL.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're trying to position themselves to get the best talent on the field. They got to make a draft. Can you imagine if nobody drafted in this division, in this draft? I mean,
everybody just sits there. Everybody just sits there. You're on the clock. Yeah, you're on the clock.
Somebody call me, please.
All right. It's also the draft is relevant to the team that's drafting. I mean, we look at the draft because we've got such a strong team right now as it's absolutely garbage, right? But somebody like the Jets are looking at this draft.
No, hold on.
Watering.
That's not true, Matt. Matt, it's not that just. It's not. A lot of people view this draft as kind of garbage.
Well, it's the same quality for all 32 teams. They're all picking out of the same cesspool. So if it's bad, it's bad. And the Bucs are lucky that we don't have.
I'm not sure what your point is on that, but I'll agree with it.
Well, I'm trying to say that we don't. This is unique that we don't need anybody. That's the whole point of it. We don't, and that's what Johnny, I guess, was saying. We don't have a need anywhere. We have spaces we can fill, but they're not going to start usually. I don't see.
No,
Chris Morris
I
coming
don't.
out this year.
What I was saying is there's players in this draft that could help the Jets. They couldn't help us. They'd be second or third stringers on our team.
Right.
They could come in and make an impact for a team like the Jets. I don't think there's a whole lot in this draft except on offense that's going to help a team like Miami, because Miami's got a defense. They got a solid defense, so there's no defensive players they're going to be looking at, really.
No, Miami traded back up to 6 because they knew for a fact that 1 through 3 and maybe even 4 were going to be quarterbacks. So then you get the choice of Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts,
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I put in my mock draft too. Like at that point, the Patriots decided to go 2 tight end system again. And a lot of these teams are deciding to say, you know what, maybe getting tight ends is the way to go because they got to get covered by linebackers, and there's not too many linebackers.
One of my favorite positions in football. I love the tight end. Yep. I do. I love the tight end. I think it's been my whole life. I go back to Jimmy Giles, just thinking that position is underutilized. Every once in a while, someone comes along, but in general. Yeah, I mean, you get a Gronk or you get a Tony Gonzalez or somebody like that comes along, but there are more guys like that. I think they're just putting them at different positions.
Well, I like Kyle Pitts because he's actually a tight end. He blocks excellently, man. I haven't found a flaw in his game, man, at all.
And he even said, like Kyle Pitts himself said that the thing he needs to get back better at is blocking. And if he said that, and that's the only thing he needs to get better at, then yeah, I would love nothing more than to have him on the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I've seen him blocking these big Alabama.
And he runs a 4.4.
Yeah,
and he's 245 pounds.
I'm not gonna lie. I got a man crush on Kyle Pitts.
Dude,
I run a 4.3. So what?
I did too. 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Yeah.
Listen, if you told me at the end of this draft that the Buccaneers only drafted in, say, the 6th and 7th round, and we don't have 2nd and 3rd round picks for the next 2 years, but all of a sudden we have Kyle Pitts, I'm not mad.
No, here's actual audio of me 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the 40-yard dash.
Just about done, honey.
Is that sex or what?
4 minutes. Did you not hear what I said?
He blocked it out.
Yeah. 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the 40-yard dash. That was me.
And going back to that, the Dolphins thing there, like the Dolphins are doing everything appropriately because they're sitting at number 6. And even let's say Atlanta does take Kyle Pitts. And then since he says, okay, we're taking Jamar Chase. Now all of a sudden Miami's like, hey, Patriots, you're not getting your quarterback. Somebody else is getting their quarterback because we're all of a sudden not letting you get in here. Since he's not moving, I would almost put my house on the fact that since he's not moving from 5.
That's probably not a good idea.
No, not for their offense. Like we know they should take Slater or Sewell. We know that, but they're not. They're going to take Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase. That the more targets for him, the better, technically. But I don't.
The overall grade of the draft is what, a C+?
Yeah. And
if that.
And then the Dolphins.
Why is that bad?
Sorry.
This draft is probably weaker than the 2015 draft, man.
But the quarterbacks is what makes this draft more interesting, like the one that had Eli and Big Ben and all that. So, but that's where everybody's getting all up in a huff on Twitter now. Like, there might be no defensive players taken in the top 10. No offense, like Mika Parsons and Kwity Paye really are the only two, and maybe J.C. Horn are the only defensive players that are worth a top 10 pick. And
they said in the history of drafts, this is probably the worst draft ever at defensive tackle.
Oh, by far. It's Christian Barmore, and then you can wait to the third and get the same that you would.
So we're talking about who's going to replace Sue. Let's get him next year.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of people that need right now a defensive tackle or an end or something, and they're going to jump up, try to get this guy and work with him, because all coaches think they can develop somebody, except for the guy that we had before. What's his name? Dirk
Gruden.
Gruden.
Well, Dirk Cotter.
Yeah.
Cotter and Gruden, they don't care about development. They just want to put a guy in their body.
Well, I'm not sure what Gruden does. I don't know that Gruden cares what Gruden does. I think Gruden's just like, hey, let's see what happens if we do this.
The Raiders
it's
just
hard
thought
to find a rusher.
the Raiders just thought
Hard to
selling
get
tickets
a
with
rusher.
Mike Mayock and John Gruden would be the answer, and it kind of worked for 2 years. But now it's like, okay, now guys, we have Mike Mayock and John Gruden running things. This is what we get.
Right.
It's hard to find a good rusher.
Yeah, you're right, man. It is. It's very hard to find a good rusher. And that's cost GMs their jobs before, dude.
Well, right after he trades Khalil Mack, he says that.
Yeah. And if you look at it, like, whoever said that someone's going to trade up for one of these guys and it's probably not going to pan out that well, is a very good point, because, like I said, Micah Parsons, Kwity Paye, maybe even Gregory Rousseau are like the best three that you're going to get. And those guys are all going to be, besides Parsons, but more than likely going to be available between the 16th pick and 32nd pick. So it's hard to judge exactly what's going to happen, like in the top 10 of the draft, but it's people are probably just going to, if anyone's going to trade up, they're trading up for offensive talent, not defensive talent in this draft.
Right. And there's not even, wide receiver. This draft is stacked at wide receiver.
Yeah, and you don't have to draft. You don't have to trade up for the wide receivers or
you can trade down for wide receiver and running back. So,
and that's what Philadelphia did. Is Philadelphia knew at number 6, like when Miami was sitting at number 3, they're like, okay, now everybody's going to go to the media and think that we're having the conversation of, are we taking the third best quarterback off this board? No, They knew they kind of had to get out of that pick, because they can get the same value if they wanted a defensive player or if they wanted an offensive player, going back as far as they did. And Philadelphia knew that we can get either Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, or even one of those top corners or top defensive players if we trade back to that 12 spot that they just got from San Francisco.
Right.
So it was a match made in heaven. And there's not going to be too many of those that are going to happen unless you start trading actual players like the Indianapolis Colts traded for last year by getting DeForest Buckner.
Right.
The defensive line, all the quality defensive line will be gone from this draft by 15 or 20.
Both of them. No, let me do this. I want to bring this up, guys. I want to bring this up while we have a moment. We are getting into the draft, which I'm loving this talk. This Thursday night, I am flying to Tampa. I'm going to meet up with Ray Kennedy and Harry the Greek and Joshua Cole Allen. And we're going to have a live draft party. We're going to be on the air. We are going to draft. We're going to have a draft party live, a draft party show live, all throughout the draft, so you can get your picks right here. As they're announced, you will get them here. So, by all means, you want to watch here, because you're going to get the same information. You're going to get it and how it relates to the Bucs. And what all of that, how this all plays out. You're going to get all that information from those of us here at Bucs Report, and you're going to get it as the picks are made. You're going to get it live. We're going to be at Ferg's It's going to be awesome. The way they've got it hooked up, the way that that this whole thing is going to go down is going to be fantastic. And I'm going to play this little trailer for you real quick. We're going to take one quick moment, be back in like 30 seconds. All right, so yeah, that's going to be this week, Thursday and Friday night. It's going to be this Thursday at 7 p.m. We're going to get this whole thing kicked off at Ferg's. And I hear the food there is phenomenal. I hear the atmosphere is phenomenal. I've heard so many good things about Ferg's. I'm excited about this. And if you saw any of Ray's live streams from there, holy cow, man, this place looks cool. I'm excited about that. But yeah, it's gonna be a blast at Ferg's in St. Pete. Be there if you can. When I tell you it's gonna be fun, that's an understatement. We are going to do some live giveaways to people that are there, like Devin White bobblehead, which I think is pretty cool. I think that thing is cool. And we're gonna have a shirt from the bobblehead is from Foco.com. I don't know if you're familiar with them. Foco.com, Foco. And then the shirt, I believe, if I am correct, is from Smack Apparel. And that's kind of cool. Yes, we can, which could also be a Bill Clinton campaign slogan, but don't go there. Yes, we can. Anyway.
Just quickly shout out to Misador. I know Johnny kind of commented there.
I just wanted you guys to know really quickly
What's that?
That I changed my picture for those who keep questioning my super straight bona fides.
You keep trying to prove them. You keep trying to prove them. That's the
all about the ladies, fellas.
I know how you feel, Steven.
Nice.
Wow.
Like it,
you know how he feels? You know how he feels?
I guess Mike just disproved your theory, Steven.
I'm not sure, yes.
Me and Mike are on the same page. And you notice how we're sporting our Buccaneers gear in the pictures, guys.
That's how we roll.
That's how you roll.
So
like a match made in heaven.
Two pieces of pod.
Quickly shout out to Misador in the comments there.
Okay.
When he was talking about Shelvin in the third or fourth. And I know Johnny made his comment afterwards where he's like, yeah, he's probably not going to beat Khalil Davis. I agree. But having Shelvin, like, I haven't said anything about him because I'm just kind of like trying to worship it to actually happen that he's be there at the third or fourth. Like, if we want an actual quality defensive tackle that we could have on the practice squad and come in for the rotation of any injuries and stuff like that, the only one of these defensive tackles I want in the later rounds would be Shelvin. And that's just for practice rounds.
Well, agree with that.
Look who just stopped by, guys. Look who just stopped by, the dude. How you doing, dude?
What's going on, guys?
No, a whole lot of nada, brother. Welcome. Welcome.
Hey, I wanna recap a couple of things from the show. First of all, at an elevation of 909 feet, that's one tall mofo for his booger hole.
That's right.
And Rick, if you remember from a little while back, Rick likes tight ends.
Yes, he does.
You did say that.
Anyway,
you did.
I just wanted to come on and say, great show, guys. Love. Watch my microphone.
Wow. I need that clipped.
That was so
You're welcome.
Rick,
You're welcome. I like tight ends.
Hey, Rick.
Play the sound.
You know,
Boing.
you know I love you, Rick, but you got to work on that, bro.
If there was anything serious about that, you're right.
You got to work on that look. That had a Halo girl I got some candy in my pocket kind of feel to it.
You got to play the sound effect with that look.
Which one?
Yeah.
Which sound effect?
The boy.
They're all terrifying. Oh, that.
You start playing now. You now officially have to register every time you move.
Yeah.
Can we get Goodbye Horses by Q Lazarus playing in the background when he makes that face, please?
It's terrifying.
Would you do me? I'd do me.
This is ridiculous.
Oh, man.
Well,
if we're going to go with the whole I like tight ends, I thought I'd, finish the job. Wow.
Anyway.
So that's what this show has become, eh?
Well, no, we're calm tonight, buddy. This has been pretty calm. This has been pretty calm. Now, do you want to get really, really creepy? Let's bring in the 17-year-old. Hey, Jacob. How you doing, man?
I feel like there wouldn't have been a worse time for me and Rick.
No, that was probably that's a little bit rough. How you doing?
Oh boy,
dying.
Oh God. Rick, I know, Rick likes tight ends. That's what we learned. So that's what I've learned from the short time that I've been watching.
Yes.
Yes.
They're underutilized.
They are underutilized. People really need to use the tight end more often.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
Guys, we killed so fair.
Wow. Hold on. Is he okay?
Oh my god, dude, the timing of that joke was so good.
Is that Rick Hughes or EDQ445 up there in the top left for us?
Is that Why, you recognize him? So
wow.
Yeah, it's getting worse. So how's it going? Jacob, please help. Talk football, please, quick. Yeah. Okay. So Jacob.
Yeah.
Is there any? Do you have any guess on the Bucs?
Man, I don't. I wish I had a guess on the Bucs. I mean, listen. I think the best player available, whether that is linebacker, edge rusher, whatever it's going to be, offensive line even. But I brought some breaking news, and I don't know. If you talked about
Hold on. Hold on. It's Jacob Charnell with breaking news.
Yes. So, according to Ian Rappaport, the 49ers at pick number 3 are officially deciding between two prospects at quarterback, and those would be Mac Jones and Trey Lance. Apparently, Justin Fields is out of the picture for them. Oh, according to Ian Rappaport.
Well, Fields, I'm not surprised. He at that pro day, I think anybody would have said, "Yeah, never mind."
I mean, it's surprising me only because we were talking about Fields as like at one point right after that Clemson game, the number 2 quarterback, like he was the clear-cut number 2 pick there, and now all of a sudden, right now he could fall to 8, 9, wherever, and depending on where the Niners go. If the Niners are deciding between Fields and Lance, whatever team, whatever they don't take, that could be the next quarterback off the board.
Jacob, I want to bring up something about this, and this little bit that I know about the way businesses are run and the way any professional organization is run. I would believe this: the Cincinnati Bengals might be sitting there going, "We're still deciding who we want to pick," but I guarantee you, there's not going to be any decision making for San Francisco on that day. They know if this guy goes first. This is who we're drafting. I mean, if these two go first and second, or whatever, if they're discussing it at that point, going, well, what do you think? On draft day, they are in big trouble because any team in the top 10 should have every scenario down so clearly that they know exactly. I always laugh. The only reason I think the top draft picks take a while, there's 2 reasons. Number one, it makes for better television and you can get more commercial time sold. And number two, maybe somebody will call you to trade. And that's the only reason. But they know. If they don't know, if you're in the top 10, 11, 12 picks and you don't know, no wonder you're in the top 10, 11, or 12 picks.
I
know, no, Rick, I agree with you. I think that, I think that they kind of know. I think that they still know who they're going to take. I think they've known who they were going to take for weeks now, right? At number 3.
Right.
The top 3 has kind of been decided. I think the Falcons are still waiting on what teams are going to offer them for 4. And then 5 is, whether the Bengals, I think the Bengals have their decision made of where they want to go. It's just going to be of how.
Yeah. Now, I worked for the Falcons, okay? And the organization is very, very well run, very structured. And I guarantee you they have an asking price in their head that if you don't meet this exact, if you do not at least do this, we're not trading. There's not going to be on that day, somebody calls in and makes an offer and they look at each other like in the Costner movie. Well, let me think this through. They already know full well. I guarantee you the Falcons know what they're doing.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Unless someone comes in at like the last minute and is like, okay, I'll give you everything.
No, but then I'm saying they have that criteria that they already have in their head that they know if they have to get exactly this, anything less than this, the answer is no. Mm-hmm. And this is something I learned this a long, long time ago. When you're in a situation like that, you don't allow yourself. Any smart general manager is going to say this. I don't allow myself to get a feeling on that day. That, they're not sitting there winging it, going with a gut feel on that day at the last minute. You know what? Never mind. I want to go with Fields. Mm-hmm. That's not going to happen. It's decided. It's talked about. It's been analyzed. They've had meeting after meeting after meeting. They've come to a conclusion. They've got a draft board, and they're going with that. And they're not going to allow themselves to have those second thoughts. If they do, that's why they are drafting so high.
Yep. And I bet you any money, though, if the Falcons are going to make a trade out of number 4, they do not want to leave the top 10 because they know it's going to be a run on quarterbacks. That means if there would be 5 of the best prospects after that, Kyle Pitts would be one of them, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddles, Penei Sewell, and Rashad Slater, J.C. Horn. Like there's 6 right there. So now you get one of them at least.
Where'd the dude go?
The dude got tired of me.
Got tired of you?
No. So Jacob, I did want to make a comment to Jacob here though, because this is the only time that me and Jacob haven't been so busy this weekend that we can actually talk. Jacob, you I put my mock draft out, and you changed my opinion. My mock draft. Yes, I know. I slur my words, Johnny. I'm sorry. And we all know it's Zach Wilson at number 2. We're not even having that conversation. I always thought, and I figured 23 it's 23, right?
Yep.
23. So 23. That's that soft spot that I said on the show before, where that's that area where running backs are going to start going. Buddy, if I think I'm believing in you here, where you said if a Tevin Jenkins or a Christian Darrisaw or someone like that, even Elijah Vera Tucker, if someone's there, I don't want to run him back until at least pick 34, 35. Then I am 100% with you on that, dude. I think number 23, if the Jets stay there, it's going to be the best offensive lineman available.
Yeah, I mean, I know, Andrew, I'm like the influencer that I can make you change your mock draft. But, I mean, that's what I've been saying. I think 23 for a running back seemed high always, especially with the amount after Najee Harris. I think that and this is going to be unpopular maybe for a lot of people, I think there was a significant drop off to Travis Etienne and all the other running backs in this draft.
Holy cow!
Oh boy, man, you got life bent. I think there's a drop off after Etienne, man.
No, I actually. Then you're the first person that I have seen this eye to eye, Jacob. I believe Najee Harris I believe he's undervalued in the sense that he's going to have he can have a massive impact on some team. The thing is this: which team's he going to? I mean, if
it's tied together with Etienne too much, I think Najee Harris is his own level on running back, and then after
he does literally everything really well.
Yeah,
I mean,
and Alabama running backs. I know you can never skip the helmet, but man, these Alabama running backs have been real successful in the last couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's the real deal.
Wait, all right, I get it with King Henry, but who else has been real successful from Alabama?
Kamara.
Okay, Kamara's all system. You understand that, right? We can shut Kamara down just simply by shutting down the system.
Yeah, you guys can shut down Kamara with the best run defense in the league, right?
No, I mean, he's been shut down. If you play a good,
thank you,
then he gets shut down. You don't shut down Etienne.
You can't see.
Are we keeping you awake, Mike?
No, I'm just chilling.
When the world meets the sky.
Pizza pie.
Think that's the pizza pie there.
Now, hold on. Go back. Keep going, Johnny.
You remember Trent Richardson? That is exactly who Najee reminds me of.
Hey, you mean the Saskatchewan Rough Rider great and Hall of Famer?
Yeah,
I do not want to hear anything.
the spring league wonder boy.
Yeah. No,
wow.
Listen.
His style, the way he runs, the jumping ability, everything that Trent Richardson did is a clone of what you're seeing from Najee Harris. It's the same exact style.
He does everything. I'm not sure what you're talking about. He does everything.
Trent Richardson until he got to the NFL.
Hold on. So here's the thing with Trent Richardson. If there's a few segments on the Pat McAfee show, because that was the trade when they brought him in, right? Pat was on the show for that. And he even said that Trent was quiet. It was a whole, like when he came in, it's almost like he didn't necessarily want to be there because he knew that it was now the expectations of all those picks that went into it, right? I think that's where the fall off with Trent Richardson happened. That being said, if we are to just say that he isn't that great, I do agree that he is almost like an exact replica of Najee Harris, except with a little bit better of the pass catching ability. Now, Najee Harris, if you look at just the tape when he talks, I know it's Zoom calls and we can't really get too much, right? But the kid's attitude is really nice. Like the Trent Richardson attitude before was a little bit more like brush it off, kind of like that Vince Young before where it's like, listen, I have talent. I don't need to keep doing all these video calls with all you guys all the time. Like I'm tired of it, right? At least Najee Harris has that like, I'm young and I want to do this. Like we haven't had the ability and stuff like that, right?
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Now,
but
to
look
your
where Trent
point,
Richardson was projected to go. He was at one time projected to go number 1 in that draft, man.
Yep.
Come on.
And you know what? And in a weird, and say like 2 or 3 years ago, if the running backs were still valued as high as what they respectively should be, Najee Harris would be projected number 4 to the Falcons this year, and it wouldn't even be close. And that's the reason why I put in my mock draft before. Like if you can get Najee Harris on certain teams with certain systems right now, because we've seen what Arthur Smith can do with Derrick Henry while still bringing Ryan Tannehill's career back basically from the dead, right? Respectively. If you give Matt Ryan Najee Harris, that's certain systems like that, Pittsburgh. All of a sudden you put him as the starting back in Jacksonville, for crying out loud, where all of a sudden Trevor can just take a little bit of the load off of his own shoulders and give it to the running back.
Wow. That's actually 3 great examples of teams that would be radically changed by Najee Harris. The Falcons, the Jaguars,
Miami Dolphins at 18. Oh my God, give them Najee Harris in that run game.
Yeah.
Take it off.
Like that's actually very good, a very good point, very way to describe that.
Their tape is very similar, but I think Etienne has the edge because of his route running. He could run such a crisp route, it's pathetic.
I think Etienne is going to be more. You're not going to see him get as many rushes. You're going to see him utilized more if they use him correctly.
Yes,
him utilized more like a Curtis Samuel than anything else.
Oh, right. Interesting. I didn't think you were going that way.
That is a good comparison, Jake.
That is a really good comparison. Yes. It's like so. And the other thing is the league. Dang, good point, Jacob. Because the league is getting a lot more players like that. Like Devontae Smith is coming in and he's going to be like that. Laviska Shenault is already playing on the Jacksonville Jaguars and he plays that position very well. Demetric Felton and Kenneth Gainwell, Antonio Gibson, like all those guys are all. Yeah, that's a very good point, dude.
Yeah, you guys hold on. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. Want to share a little promo for the show that's on Saturday nights at 8:30. What's cooking in the South? Yeah. Wow. Nobody's ever gotten quite into that tune before.
Sorry, rest in peace, Neil Peart.
I'm horrified. Anyway,
how did you get a Rush drummer out of that, man?
I don't know.
I was.
No, he didn't because he was using both of his arms.
Oh, are we taking shots at the Def Leppard drummer now?
Oh, that's right. It was Def Leppard. That's right. I just had a brain fart. Sorry about that.
Neil Peart is the greatest drummer of all time, man.
Very, very, very close. I mean, there is a couple. I'm a metal fan, but if we're just talking technicality, I would put Danny Carey up there.
Wait! You're a metal fan?
Heck yeah! Do you not see this?
Why is it all of your? Every single one of
really
your
hurt, guys.
Karaoke things are always pop stuff.
That sounded like seriously, like an emergency. Can you imagine any of us old guys? Wow.
That did hurt my neck, and it's going to be really hard to just trim cannabis tomorrow, guys. Thanks for that.
It's a job.
Hard.
It is a job. I work at the biggest legal cannabis facility in the world, which is basically near the North Pole. Like, why? It doesn't make any sense, guys.
Wow.
The beautiful thing, grow lights. Grow lights and hydroponics.
And now you know he doesn't get out in the sun. That's why he's that color.
Yeah.
So that explains that.
And I'm adopted.
And it also explains why he don't really care.
Damn right.
Wow.
Mike's making me silly over here with these. He's like a.
I know, man. I've been watching them change them things.
Can I bring up a question quickly?
Yeah, please.
So we were talking about Atlanta at number 4, and I think that I think that it's really and I want to change. I changed my opinion on. We talk about it on Tuesday on my show a little bit, but I think Atlanta kind of not even needs to. They absolutely need to go defense in the first round of this draft, no matter where they go, because this offense could put up 45 points a game. 42.
Can it?
This offense can put up 40 points in a single game. They can absolutely. This next.
I think that's memories of days gone by.
I don't think Matt Ryan is a problem in Atlanta. I don't think they need to draft a quarterback yet. I don't think it's necessary. This defense is awful, right? Because they'll put up 40 points, and like Harry the Greek says, they'll lose 41-40 because they're giving up so many points. I think they need to go either. I know they went corner last year in the first round, but we don't really know what AJ Terrell is yet. I think Surtain, J.C. Horn, and even maybe Caleb Farley if they trade down could all be selected. I think if at number 4, if they're going to stick there and go defense, I think Surtain is probably the guy that they would pick there based on how I have my corners ranked. But I at first I had Kyle Pitts there. All that's going to do is spread the wealth among this offense all over the place, and this defense losing Keanu Neal, they're still going to give up just as many points, if not more, than they did last year.
I just don't see them scoring like you're saying. I think they've got the reputation of scoring more than they score.
See, Rick,
what was their average last year?
Rick, you said something from like last year that I like. Until Matt Ryan and Julio Jones are gone, I'm actually like, I still preach it. I will find the clip on my show where I gave you a shout out for it. The Falcons are a team that if you told me next year they're going to finish 2-14 or 14-2, I would believe you.
Except there's 17 games.
Yes, I know.
I'm messing with you. I know. Yeah. You were going with the quote. I'm just messing with you.
But it's they have the ability. It's like kind of like the Bucs here. Like, and I hate to say it when we had Winston and when we had Cutter, and I hate to bring up the old days and stuff like that. But the team was built, and this team has been built. And there's a couple of other teams that are out there that are built, and they just need the quarterback or they need that extra push, right? And the Falcons had one of the worst Super Bowl losses of all time. And that is hard to come back from. I mean, there's been many of us and many of fans in the comment sections who have all played football or any other type of sport and have probably got to a championship game or know that their kids have gone to a championship game and have to see their faces or be part of the defeat or the victory. And this Falcons team bringing Arthur Smith in, I know everybody thinks it's going to be quarterback. And if they really, really love one at number 4, they'll go ahead and take it. And that one's going to be loving the system that he's in. But I think what the Falcons ownership and Arthur Smith sees is a team that just needs the right type of kick in the ass, just like Bruce Arians did to us.
They need more than that, though. Their entire defensive backfield left.
I agree.
I gotta say something, man.
I agree.
All this time, and you think right now, during the worst defensive draft of all time, that they're going to wake up and say, "Oh, we got to get a defensive player on this draft."
with nobody there.
Johnny, in the later rounds, I agree, but I think in the first round, guys, other than the defensive tackle position, I think there are a ton of really solid defensive pieces in this draft.
Whoa. Okay, go ahead. Give me that. Talk about that, because Johnny just went on a little diatribe about the opposite. So I want to hear this.
Johnny, we lasted only a few days where we were getting along. It only goes so long, man. But yeah, we look in the first round. You look at especially at corner with these first round talents, right? Surtain, Horn, and Farley, I think, are all really solid. Greg Newsome, Eric Stokes, these are really solid pieces depending on where they go. The edge rushers in this draft, man, are I think even the guys who could fall into the second round, Tryon, Russo, all these guys, Jason Owe, these are all great players.
Owe and Tryon are going to end up in the first round because they are the best what you can grab right there. They're going to go in the first round, I bet you.
Quiddy Pay, Jalen Phillips, these are all Aziz Ojulari. All these names could be really solid depending on where they go. Now, not all of them are going to be good, obviously, because that's not how the draft works. But I think a solid 3 or 4 of them could be the key pieces to a bunch of defenses in the NFL. I think other than defensive tackle, Andrew, you said it, other than Christian Barmore, who even today I heard reports coming out of teams are worried about his coachability. It's weak there. It's weak on the defense. It's weak on the interior defensive line. But Mika Parsons, man, Jeremiah Usukwaramoa, all these guys, even Trevon Moehrig. These names.
Trevon Moehrig is going to be sick.
All these guys that fall out of the first round, or go in the first round, are all really solid pieces. And once you get into the 4th, 5th, 6th round, all the guys you're taking there are flyers anyway. None of them are sure things. You're really just guessing and trusting your ability on tape at that point, aren't you?
Let me ask you, where would Mika Parsons fit? Which team? Because it's got to be a special team that Mika Parsons goes to, because Mika Parsons isn't just going to be out there playing. Mika Parsons is going to go out there and play, and then when the game's over, he's going to go out in the streets.
I got two. The 2 places that he would succeed in right away, honestly, if we're just plug and play, Miami, first of all, number 1, hands down, I think he would just fit perfectly because he plays like that Shaq Barrett, and I think that they just need a little bit more pressure and someone that can cover. The other place that would look really, really good would be the Detroit Lions, only because
nobody looks good going to Detroit.
No, here's the thing. His presence on the Detroit Lions would be a very welcome thing. They do have, the Falcons. The Falcons do have, a really good defensive tackle. They have a really good – the safety's kind of gone. They have one good linebacker, and the rest are we can replace them.
Okay, you just gave me a Rick rant right here, man. You opened your mouth and you gave me a Rick rant right off the bat, Andrew. Come on, man. Like Shaq Barrett sat behind people for 6 years before he became Shaq Barrett. Okay?
But that doesn't. But hold on. But that doesn't mean it's that way with everybody. What you just gave was an anecdotal example, but that's not a parallel to everybody.
No, but see, I think what Johnny is saying is when he was drafted, when Shaq Barrett was in Denver, he was the 3rd or 4th option.
Right.
And what he's saying on what I'm saying is if Mika Parsons were to go to Detroit, he wouldn't necessarily be the 3rd or 4th option. Of course, he would have to be relied on. So
right.
You know what? I would take that back and say I would definitely be wrong if I was saying he was a Shaq Barrett type. It would have to be somewhere like the Dolphins. And then maybe somewhere like the Cardinals. Then those are the places.
Yeah, I still think Pittsburgh. But go ahead, Jacob.
I'm going to change
Pittsburgh
it there.
Won't touch him.
Johnny, you want to say someone who's going to sit behind? I think the number 1 place for Mika Parsons to go is the Denver Broncos. Sit behind Von Miller for a year, and man, he comes out the next year looking like an absolute stud.
You're making Andrew's point. There you go.
That's actually not bad either.
Yeah. The Denver Broncos are a great spot for him to go. plug and play guys, I'm going to say it. I think the New York Giants are a fantastic spot for him to go with that, and that defense is going to be dirty next year.
No, keep him out of New York, man. Keep him the hell away from New York.
I'm telling you, if that defense gets Parsons, man, they're going to be so. Oh boy, I think even without Parsons, they're going to be great. Now add him, and they're. Oh,
if what Johnny said earlier, like with the off-field stuff with Mika Parsons is true, I would agree. Yeah, keep him out of New York. But if the Giants were in a winning culture right now, because the Giants are one of those teams that are in the middle tier, say, of eliteness that can take a couple of years off and still gain their fans back no matter what, right? And I think if you want to get the best out of Mika Parsons or Micah Parsons, I know that a couple people have said that as well too. So my apologies.
I have no idea how to say his name still.
Yeah,
just Roger Goodell will correct me on draft.
Just in case you do end up being a Buccaneer, I want to first off apologize, Mika or Micah Parsons, for mispronouncing your name, and I promise that we at Bucs Report will do everything in our power to have you on and go over how to spell your name and talk about your name. That being said, to Johnny's point, yeah, keep him the heck out of New York until that culture's winning again. But if you're talking about having him and Leonard Williams, like I had in my mock draft, going at it for a bit, yeah, that would be kind of fun for sure.
And I think if there's any place to keep him out of, it's Vegas, because man,
and watch him go there.
Yeah,
and then he'll fail like Clellan Farrell or whatever.
Number 4. Oh my God. Who like why? Like who picks him there? I no one had him. I get, it's a reach and if you want to get your guy, but come on, number 4.
Do you remember that year, man? He was on my draft board in the 20s, and I think at one point I had him at 19, and I was like, I mean, if you take him at 19, that still might even be a reach. And then I saw him go to 4, and I'm like, what are we doing?
In the top 5.
That's like Tryon. Tryon was originally set up to go in the first round around what was it, the 20s somewhere, and then he dropped it at like the 32. And
somebody always drops, and that's the thing. That's what's going to put the Bucs in a good bargaining position.
And there's going to be a lot of good players that are available for like Jacksonville and the Jets at 33 and 34. Because I mean, like you go to a lot of those mock drafts that are out, whether it's Joshua Cole-Allen's. I mean, you saw his mock draft on Twitter that he did in a locker room app. Like if Josh was our GM and he got those 2 players for us with that value that he got for those trades, I'm happy. Totally.
Yeah. There's a reason. There's the reason I'm the only one out here that puts one mock draft up, and that's it. Everybody else is putting multiple mock drafts because you're going to hit somewhere.
Yeah, and that's the reason why we play. Sorry, say that again, Matt.
I haven't done a mock draft. You know why? Because I can't. I don't know how.
Well, see,
but I
that's
want to
why.
ask a question on
That's
something
why
you
we
were
put
talking
it out
about
there.
how to pronounce somebody's name. Is it Vitavea, Vetavea, Vevita, or
It's Vita. The correct pronunciation is Vita Vea.
Velveeta mac and cheese right there.
That's what I'm thinking.
Let me say this. This is what the people within the organization call him.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Vita Vea.
That's what I thought.
Right.
Johnny calls him Vetavea.
No, Johnny calls him Vita Vea or whatever, but yeah, it doesn't
They call
matter.
him champion.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah, they do champions, baby.
There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Andrew, you need to check your messenger too because I sent you a draft evaluator.
Okay, did you sent it to the North Sports page, right?
No, I sent it to your page.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Andrew,
A trade value chart. A trade value chart. Yeah.
And you guys can answer based on how much you guys know about the prospects, but is it crazy to have the Joker, Jeremiah, the Koromoa ranked higher than Mika Parsons in this draft, depending on where he goes? Is that crazy in the linebacker? Because I love that guy, man.
Dude,
yeah.
He
had the 2 Devons last year. I mean, the year before last.
Devin White, Devin.
Koromawa, or however you want to say it again. And again, okay. Hey, if you come to the Buccaneers, he's played at Notre Dame. He's been in the right type of school and system that, he's going to get overlooked. He is going to get overlooked because the linebacker position isn't necessarily of need for many of the guys in the first round. Like we're talking like the Jags might need one, your Jets might need a linebacker, and they're not going to take it at 1 and 2, obviously. But the Koromawa is like, it's like having a B-rated version of, and I just lost his name, is the Carolina linebacker from before.
Luke Kuechly.
Luke Kuechly. He is smart. And he knows how to read these plays very, very well. He does need to get beefier, and that's the reason why Luke Kuechly was good, is because he could read the plays, but he can. Hey,
the last time I heard he's got to get beefier.
I don't need to hear this. I don't want to hear this.
Wait a minute. Used in a sentence on a linebacker was Derek Brooks, and he didn't have to beef up too much.
Good point.
I didn't hear he needed to beef up. I just heard he was beefy. He was too small. Is
he
what
undersized, complete all the way
right.
around.
Right.
It's just if you want him to lead, like if you want to have your quarterback for your defense, you want him to be a fair size, like that 230 to 240, 220 to 240 size for a middle linebacker, so that when it is on those one-on-one matchups, it is like having a specialized weapon. With Koramawa, I believe is how we'll say. We'll call him the Notre Dame linebacker.
There you go.
And when he gets
now, is it Notre or Notre? If we're gonna go ahead and get all confused,
is the story of Rudy true or is it a fictional story?
I think it's both.
Well, wait a minute. I'm going to go with the French guy because Notre Dame and Notre is a French word, so it began in France.
Yeah, but okay. Oh man, you're Johnny. Go. No, I'm not going to do it. I want to do it. I'm not going to do it. But this is how I get when it freaking drives me nuts when somebody does, like, you listen to a news broadcaster and they have to change their inflection when they get to. Today, there is an earthquake in Nicaragua.
You started it. If you didn't want to hear it, then why did you even bring it up? You could have just went with Notre Dame. I do.
It's like
you were wanting to be specific, so I became specific.
Johnny, I was just wanting to be funny.
Oh, okay.
Rick, it's like the Italians. You hear them and you hear them. They're talking normally, and all of a sudden,
this is a great example.
They hit you with the mozzarella when you think. Like, are you kidding me? Say it normally. Like,
I want a pizza with the mozzarella. Like, that's when they say that instead of mozzarella. We need mozzarella.
It's like the French here. It's like the French here in Canada when I walk into an establishment. I'm like, hey guys, can I get a poutine? And they're like, you Canadian. It's poutine. It's poutine. Okay, you stay.
I think we've come to the conclusion that this is just an international problem that we need to take care of.
Yeah. And it starts here at Bucs Report.
Yeah. And it's also like you also get New York. You also get New Yorkers that all of a sudden when they get mad, that accent starts coming out.
It's when you get the New Yorkers, people from New York that aren't in New York anymore, and they're always like comparing stuff to what used to be in New York. This would in New York, we would just walk in the street like, okay, well now you're in Wyoming. So sorry.
In New York, oh my God! In New York, we would just walk in the street like nothing. Nobody said nothing to us. Nobody said nothing because it was better then. Right? Yeah, I know.
So I wonder why there's 10 people run over in the road.
Right, but it's just everybody. Yeah, it was better where you're from. It's always that way.
I'm talking to my grandparents, and they're like. And I'm talking to my grandpa, and he's like, "You're always texting on your phone." And like, when I was little, like we had to go over and talk to our friends. And I'm like, "When you were little, there were Nazis. Like, what do you mean?" Like, I hate when people compare old times to now because it's just like
you're going to do it, Jacob. It's going to happen.
You just wait, brother. Everyone on this panel will tell you.
Damn knee-high socks on, the orthopedic socks and the long Bermuda pants in your golf cart. At the village,
hold on
the 8th hole.
Hold on.
Talking to some kid coming up, going, "Back in my day, we did da 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 da," and it'll happen. You can't stop it. One day, you are your parents. It's a law.
You got to make a Matt's rant there, man.
Yeah, no joke. That was pretty awesome. Johnny really likes that rant segment. Apparently,
old people.
I do. I like it. I've been trying to get you to go on one, but. I just get really close and it just don't go away.
Yeah, no, the only time you came close was the one, but I also
Johnny's idea of rant is to go on strike for 3 or 4 days. He doesn't come back around.
Was it Johnny or Mike?
Both.
Oh. What are you talking about? The only time I'm not around is when I got health issues.
Johnny's always around now. Johnny's always around. So, how dare you have health issues?
Yeah.
What kind of respect? There's no respect. No respect for this show.
Dr. Vinny Boomba. We'll fix you right up, buddy.
Yeah, I've already been dealing with that guy already, man. I'm tired of him.
$50,000.
Yeah.
So who drafts a Canadian running back? I'm waiting for an answer still.
What's that?
I literally just finished writing it in the group chat there for you too, buddy. If anybody is grabbing the Canadian running back, and just to let you guys know, if I'm going to call it right now, this is going to be in say 10 or 15 years the best class of Canadians that comes out of the draft by far.
CFL players, you mean?
Translation. Wait. There are two.
There's two that'll be pretty.
Oh, you got Steven back on that one.
Yep.
If you were asking me though, Mike, like I said, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Buffalo, and Jacksonville. Because I mean, Tampa Bay has talked to him, and if he's there in the 4th and we take him, oh my goodness gracious!
Who's that?
Chuba Hubbard.
Oh,
Chuba Hubbard.
Guy named Chuba.
Booger hole.
We had a Booger McFarland for a while.
Yes, we did. Why not have a booger hole?
Andrew, I want to. You keep mentioning Jacksonville as a spot for running backs. I can't see that being a successful spot for running backs quite yet, just because that offensive line still is in shambles, right?
Agreed.
That team is in shambles.
But a good running back will help that line out.
And they do have James Robinson. And as a dynasty guy, I pray that Jacksonville doesn't draft a single running back, and it's all James Robinson all day, every day. And it's the same thing in Miami.
Yeah.
I hope it to be Myles Gaskin all day, every day. But they're two different types of running backs. James Robinson is good on your first and second down, needs a little bit of work in the passing downs. Whereas Myles Gaskin in Miami, really good at the 1 and 2 he's fair at, but he's really good at the passing downs. So those teams right there are probably going to start going after your Javonte Williams, your Michael Carters, your Chuba Hubbards, your Stevensons, your Khalil Hubbards.
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. I'm sorry.
Sounds like a song.
I know.
And Chewbacca.
You know, I gotta point that Ooga Chaga, but I gotta say this. I gotta say this though. Looking at, I want you guys to imagine for a minute. Take yourself there. What if Tampa never got a football franchise? What if instead it went to Booger Hole? Can you imagine? Booger. Oh. Booger.
Roland would play for them.
Oh. I'm just saying it's a reasonable thing to.
You scared me because I thought you were going to say if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't exist, who would you have cheered for? And it's like, okay, so I'm stuck with either the Vikings or the Bills.
Oh, I'll go with that. That's a great question. We're going to close with this question. Thank you. We'll start with you.
For me, it probably would have been the Minnesota Vikings or Buffalo Bills because I'm one of those Canadians that refuses to hop on the bandwagons, and I would never have cheered for the Green Bay Packers. So I would have been Vikings or Bills for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can respect that actually.
Oh, I see you cough. That's why you're muted there, Rick.
Mike DeRoche.
What?
Turn his ass off.
I gotta deal with my boss over here. Listen, I gotta deal with my boss over here, and now I gotta deal with you, miscreants.
Okay,
grumpy Canadian.
Golly.
Minnesota or the Bucs brothers, Seattle.
Okay, Minnesota or Seattle. This is an odd little poll we got going here, Matt.
Well, back in the 76-ish time, Dallas was a big deal for me, and Minnesota. Those were the two teams I like to watch.
3 votes for Minnesota.
Well, that was the Purple People Eater day.
Jacob, if there were no Jets.
Yeah.
Seattle, right?
No, actually. Okay. At the time when I was picking teams, no, because it would have absolutely been the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, because of
Andrew Luck, definitely.
Okay.
And I'm happy that I didn't stick with this feeling. It would have been the Detroit Lions because of Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Or the Patriots.
Hell no. There's no way.
No.
Steven. Hey, it would have been, honestly, for me, it would have been Patriots because I'm a Brady fanboy.
But you were already 40-something at that point. Or 30, well in your 30s, so come on. When you were younger, who would you have ended up?
How dare you?
I'm I'm sorry. You can figure it out. You'll deal with it. You know,
one day
you're not
guys,
local to me, so
one
I think
day,
I'm
guys,
safe.
I'm gonna have my co-host come on here.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we'd like to see Loose more over here, man.
Hold on, everybody's talking at once.
Go ahead, Steven.
Rick led to it. My favorite segment, getting to old age, my favorite segment before I came back on was when I heard Jacob say, I hate it when old people go, back in my day. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that is adorable. That is so cute.
Because we all know we said it too. We all know we thought the same dang thing. Yeah, you can wave it. You can try and dismiss us old guys who have no idea what we're talking about all day long there, young feller. You little whippersnapper.
I promise you, Jacob, one day you're going to be sitting around by yourself and it's going to dawn on you, oh my God, I've become my dad.
Did Jacob ever give his answer?
I promise.
Yeah, Jacob did.
Yes, Jacob gave his answer. You just weren't listening.
I was just waiting for you to ask me.
Well, Stephen was still.
Oh, that's right. You're all the way up there. I missed you, didn't I?
Yeah, Stephen went on his rant about.
I'm sorry, Johnny. I'm not giving you enough attention. Go ahead.
No, man, I need more attention. Give me the. Yeah, I know you still got that sound effect.
Which one?
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
That's mine.
Saints fans again.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I was going to Dolphins games, but I went to a lot of Houston games also. So I would have to say neither of those because I was an NFC guy.
And he wonders why I didn't ask him.
Nothing straightforward about those people from Pennsylvania.
Yep. Wow. Steven, who was it you were saying, please?
The Patriots for me because I'm afraid.
That's right. You said that.
Since 2000. But I'm
Okay.
87 years old, so.
You're what?
Who did you grow up watching, Steven?
I grew up actually I grew up watching the Cowboys and the Pittsburgh, which I'm surprised you didn't say in Pennsylvania. Why not Pittsburgh?
He probably wasn't.
Because I wasn't in Pennsylvania at the time, and I was a Dallas fan with Roger Staubach. So
Hold up. So if you're born somewhere and there's a team around where you're born, are you saying there, Steven, that you have to cheer for that team? Because I refuse in my life to ever cheer for the Maple Leafs. Thank you very much.
No, I'm with you, Andrew. I don't believe that either because I was born and raised in Georgia, and then we moved to San Diego as a kid. I never cheered for Chargers. I just didn't like them.
Nobody did either, so you're okay.
I don't think they're. I don't think they're. Well, it's not
And
like
that's why there's not a Chargers anymore. What was that, Jacob?
there's literally no Chargers fans. I've never met one. I have never met a single.
Well, you know what's funny?
It's a West Coast thing.
No, there were three. No, because there are three. Hold on. If I was to answer this question, Minnesota, the Cardinals, and the Chargers. It would be one of them.
Interesting.
For me.
Back in
Is
the
there
day,
is there an airport in Booger?
What?
Is there an airport in Booger?
I don't know. I don't know.
Listen, Mike, whatever you're smoking down there in Manitoba, you got to send some my way back. It's like I just love the way that your mind goes.
Wow.
It's so random.
Wow. I'm somewhere between baffled and amused all at once.
That's usually how my wife feels. So
San Diego had a good team. They had Dan Fouts and Kellen Winslow.
Yeah, that's when I really liked them.
They were really
Kellen
good.
Winslow. They had a phenomenal team. I just didn't like them, but they had an awesome team then.
That's odd because
California was all about the Raiders and
Charlie Joyner
for a period of time. The Rams.
I've always had a soft spot for the Chargers, man. I've always thought.
Yeah, me too. What?
Yeah.
I mean, I live in New Jersey. I refuse. I guess we'll say New York because there's no New Jersey basketball teams. But I will always refuse to root for the New York Knicks. And I know they're solid now. But guess what? I'm not dealing with years and years.
What about Brooklyn Nets?
Football. And that's also. I just can't get. I don't know. Something about the Nets gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Those jerseys are really nice this year, though.
I like
with the color on the sides, like the crayon. I do.
They
like
got
that
little rascal thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked growing up. I liked Fran Tarkenton. I thought he was awesome to watch him scrambling around, and he was kind of the first really mobile guy to play the position.
Go ahead, sorry, Rick.
No, go ahead.
I had a crush on Roger Staubach back in the day.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. I had an autographed picture by him.
Yeah, I love Roger.
Yeah, but I didn't like Dallas. I liked for whatever. I liked Minnesota. I lived in Orlando. I liked Minnesota and the Cardinals, which were in St. Louis, because I thought it was fun to watch Conrad Dobler lose his mind on the football field.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy had anger issues. Jacob, by the way, I'm keeping you too long. I just saw your message. I apologize. You want to go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, for sure. I have to get to sleep because I have a baseball game tomorrow. But check out the Hard Count Football Podcast on YouTube and SoundCloud. And the Hard Count Football Podcast live Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern of course, right here on Bucs Report and on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel. Follow me on Twitter at Jacob Charno, Instagram at Hard Count Football. Guys, draft night coming up. A lot of draft talk on Tuesday. Anybody who wants to be there can be there. It's going to be a ton of fun. Thursday night, of course, check out the Bucs Report draft party and come check me out. I'll be live on draft night. It's whatever time it starts. I think it starts at 8 p.m. I'll be live then on the Hard Count Football YouTube channel, giving my live reactions to all the picks because I will certainly be angry about something the Jets do on draft night. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. We got a graphic for me. Love to see it, guys.
Nice.
Everywhere.
Nice.
Yep.
Rick, I appreciate having me on, man. It's always nice to talk to all of you. Talk to you soon.
You got it, my friend. Have a great night.
You rock, Jacob. You rock, brother.
I should have just left him there and see how awkward he could feel.
Was he doing the blood sign?
He was flashing. He was flashing. Oh man. It has devolved. Yes.
You have to have a segment called "Everybody Pay Attention to Johnny."
Everybody does what to Johnny?
Everybody pay attention to Johnny. Although it's Mike too, because when Mike goes off, when all of a sudden Mike's like not part of the discussion, but he's changing his picture and flashing it back and forth and he's without saying a word. This is the thing. This is without saying a word. I never talk. But
I'll be the first guy to admit I know nothing about the draft, the players. I don't know who's picking who. I don't. It's out of my
wheelhouse. Yeah.
So I just sit and listen to you guys babble on.
Well, we will babble on.
Well, we hope by draft day you'll at least know the players' names.
Don't call on Johnny.
That's what worries me is who do we get and how's that going to work?
Yeah,
we get 30 other teams. I don't care.
I won't worry about who we take as a team. I don't care about the Jets or the Cowboys or I don't.
Yeah, I do just because they are who they're going to play. So I care. You know.
Sorry. In order to know who we're going to pick, and still we don't because this is a screwed up draft. In order to know who we're going to pick, you have to know what the other teams ahead of you are going to do.
Hey, is there a hot rumor who we might take if we have a chance?
Yeah,
there's about 500 of them.
Yeah, there's about 500, but the biggest one is probably Mac Jones.
Is he a quarterback? Or is he
I love him.
Alabama quarterback.
And Ray Kennedy was talking
he's Brady-esque.
He's Brady-esque.
And Stephen Glasgow started that rumor all by himself.
If there is any player, Mike,
I'm gonna be right.
If there is any player, Mike, that we are going to take, like there's three names that keep getting tossed around for the Buccaneers. One obviously is Christian Barmore. If he's there at 32, getting just the best defensive tackle off the board would not be necessarily a wrong issue. What's his name? Sorry. Jason Oweh, I believe is his first name, is the linebacker / edge rusher from Penn State. He's another guy that, he looks like Shaq Barrett. He looks like he can be one of those rotation guys as long as he actually, is what he can be. And then the guy that I think that the Buccaneers would probably look to get if he is there at 32 would be Azeez Ojulari, which is the Georgia linebacker.
Bless you.
And thank you. he has this ability. When I looked at the tape of him and stuff like that, he has this beautiful ability to run around like Shaq Barrett did. You can put him down in the 4-3 if you really wanted to. He would probably be better if you just let him run out like Shaq Barrett and JPP and the way that they're running those type of things. So if you're looking for any names, those are the names for you. But this is the one draft, and we've all done it. I've seen Bucs Report do it before where we're like, okay, so we took this player at this position. Look at that. This is the first time I ain't going to be mad. Vita Vea at random. Why do we need another defensive tackle? We have Gerard McCoy. Devin White. Josh Allen was sitting there. How did we pass that up? No, this is the first year that I do not give two blanks and a damn.
Yeah. I'll watch the draft. I'll watch, but
there's another hitch to our position in the draft also at 32.
What's that?
That fifth-year option may not be looking so pleasant for everybody because the fifth-year option has got to be fully guaranteed money this year.
Right.
So it's not like they can work a deal out on the fifth-year option. It's all going to be guaranteed money.
Is there a 10-minute clock on the draft? Like per pick, 10 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And real quick, guys, I want to give Andrew some props. Because Andrew, I've been watching your show, and you have been doing a phenomenal job when it comes to the draft, making it interesting, explaining all the different players, the different positions. I get where Mike's coming from, and he's probably like a lot of other Bucs fans because this year, as you talked about earlier, the draft matters the least, I think, to Bucs fans. Because we already have the players that we need, including in depth to some degree.
Right.
So a lot of Bucs fans are not overly interested. Just casual fans are not overly interested. But you guys do a great job. Bucs Report is going to do a phenomenal job. I'm sure.
You bet.
I'm looking forward to it. So great job.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great night, Stephen.
Thank you.
And remember to share these shows.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, I'll say that to everybody. Please share the shows. Please please make comments. Every one of those comments that you make in that chat, not only do we read them, not only does it keep us talking in here, we know what you guys want to talk about. It also, every one of those comments helps Facebook and their little algorithm to know whether or not they want to share this to others. The more activity we get, the better. Keep that in mind tomorrow night, guys. All right? Lots of comments.
That's an awful lot of coffee there, Andrew. Hey, what's the odds that you could get Alex to come on the show one time?
Yes, I was going to make a joke and be like, speaking of no fans, so my co-host is a Lions fan. And it's funny because it kind of it's a nice perspective, guys. Like 2 or 3 years ago, whether we're talking Bucs Report or any of the other media outlets that are out there, when people were talking about the Bucs draft, you start talking to these other teams and these groups of people who are fans of these other teams. You start talking about your team, they kind of slowly turn their head before, and we're like, "You're a Bucs fan. When are you ever going to actually be good?"
Yeah.
And now here we are, right?
Yeah.
We're great.
And I'm not. Yeah. And I'm not saying that we look at the Lions fans. I mean, we do, and I'll even clip that and send it to Alex. We do kind of look at now the Lions and the Bengals and the Jets as those franchises that are like, why are you talking about your teams in a conversation right now?
Right.
It's because they are on that tail end.
Yeah.
They don't have any. It's about the rebuilds. Obviously, rebuilds are more intriguing than the championship teams. Like, who wants to talk about the ins and outs of a championship team, right? I want to talk about the new kids on the block because they're all on the teams that are rebuilding.
The Lions are in a 60-year rebuild.
I'll tell you something about losing franchises. The fans of those franchises dig a lot deeper into the knowledge of football to find an excuse to have a conversation about something.
Right.
Yep.
It drives you nuts to hear people badgering your team. So you guys got to dig to find something good about your team and stuff. So
See, and that's what happened. That's one of the beauty things about North Sports Dynasty is me and Alex. Like, Alex was a big fan of my show. Like, he was helping me behind the scenes when I was doing season 1 and season 2 by myself. And I brought the idea to him because we had conversations. Like, we had conversations when our teams were really, really bad. And his team is still really, really bad, but that's neither here or there.
Just remind me of that every once in a while, right?
Right, yeah. We had those conversations. because they were, it was inclusive. We talked about the struggles and, our Hall of Fame players and this, that, and everything else. So,
that's why it always bugs me whenever I talk about the struggles the Bucs have had. It's been mentioned to me on multiple occasions. Stop mentioning that. The times are good now. Well, I don't want to forget that. That's what makes these times as good as they are. Exactly. It's because I remember those times. Right, I remember those times.
Yes, sir.
Does your buddy want to be a Bucs fan, Alex?
Yeah. I'll tell you, man. Alex is one of the most knowledgeable people I've seen on these shows, man. He's pretty smart.
He's good. He lived down in Windsor, Detroit area for a while. So, he's a big Michigan guy, big Detroit guy all around. Big Red Wings fan as well. That's one of the reasons where he actually can get along. And we've kind of come up with this thing where he cheers for the Bucs. He respects it. He knew he was the one guy at work. People are like, Andrew's being a little weird. I thought the Buccaneers are winning right now. And he's like, you do not understand. Just leave him be. There's only 2 people at work that are going to be able to talk to him, and I'm one of them. And it's not wrong. And we've kind of made that agreement that, I kind of cheer for his Lions too. I'm in depth with his Lions now just as much as he is in depth with the Buccaneers. I want to see the Lions succeed. Now that I've actually been an adult and seen the Buccaneers win Super Bowls, anytime that we're not able to win a Super Bowl, I want to see the Lions have a chance. I want to see the Bills have a chance. I want to see the Vikings have a chance. I just want to see teams that have never won it yet win it, because it's fun to watch those fan bases.
That's how I feel whenever a team like Buffalo or somebody, when they're in the running. Yeah, I'll root for them and want them to do it, because it's just so you know what it feels like, other than the Falcons.
Yeah, the Saints. You guys are only dealing with one Super Bowl every year.
And the Panthers.
Panthers are irrelevant.
I don't mind the Panthers. I get it when they become better and their fan bases start coming on Twitter and they get all cocky when they start winning and stuff. That'll be a different story. But I don't mind the Panthers squad right now.
Right.
I didn't really care for Riverboat Ron and Cam Newton squad, but this squad right now, I don't mind it.
You don't hate it. All right, guys, we're gonna call this a night. Andrew, tell everybody where to find you.
You can find me here at North Sports Dynasty, right down at the bottom. Oh, I'm getting good at that. North Sports Dynasty, right there, ladies and gentlemen. On Saturdays at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, that's my time. And then 1 p.m. Eastern Time, that's your time. You can also catch me on all the social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. It'll be all North Sports Dynasty. Or if you want to just follow me, it's Andrew_Faubert on Twitter. Just find me on Facebook. I'm open to all exceptions and stuff like that.
And hopefully a part of Bucs Report very soon.
And Andrew, you're still my favorite, bud. Don't worry. Alex hasn't stolen you yet.
There goes. I was gonna say, wow, I think you just hurt Mike's feelings.
That was a good.
Me and Matt chop liver or what?
No.
You don't have a show, Mike.
Yeah, there was a segment on my show. There was a segment
just
on
listening
my show.
just listening to you guys talk to each other. It's
That's the loveliest thing I've ever heard.
It's just spectacular.
And ship sailed. We're done, Johnny.
All of you guys, everyone here on the show, everyone in the chat, all of you fans and stuff like that, you all have been amazing to me and to Bucs Report. Keep it up. We'll keep the content coming for you guys.
Keep it up. Boing.
There we go. All right, thanks again, Rick.
Have
yourself a good night, buddy.
Have a great night.
Good night, guys.
All right, have a great night, Mike. Hopefully, I will see you tomorrow night on the Bucs Report show. And adios.
See you, boys.
See you later, Matt. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, guys. Hopefully, I will see you guys ripe and ready to go tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Have a good show.
Try to make an appearance for you.
Awesome.
Tomorrow, right?
9 p.m.
All right, got you, bud. Later.
Have a good night. All right, guys. There's, I think we've had a great night. Covered all kinds of good stuff, and I appreciate you guys being here. So, what I want you to do is stay safe and everything. Come back tomorrow night. Watch the show. Let's all talk. I want to see you guys and hear you guys more. I want to hear more from you. Okay, I'll open up the phones, the lines for you to connect. Somebody out there, Tim Witherspoon. Somebody out there, have the guts to step up and call tomorrow night when it's your turn. We don't make fun of you. We don't give you a hard time. We actually want to hear from you. You guys calling in helps drive the show. So I really want to thank you guys. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Have a great night, and absolutely go Bucs.